special guest tonight. Got a lot of big beers on the table. I won't spend a bunch of time doing a long intro, but as always, we are for the culture. Got some good topics coming up. I'll move to my right here and go around around the table with introductions. Well, I'll move to my left then. So I'll start with our first special guest.
What's up, Grady? I am Matt with My Beer Box.
Grady, huh? I thought he was in Wisconsin.
Grady is in Wisconsin. Somebody get Matt the hell out of here.
All right, well, that was it. That was it. See ya.
Another case of you all look alike.
You know, I think it's the hams. We're
that
sipping on some hams.
The ham. You're sipping on some
You're
ham.
sipping on
Well,
hams.
there's hams in that box somewhere. One of you guys got stuck with that. Someone's taking it home.
I'm Sasha. Oh, God, y'all. They're a mess tonight. I'm Sasha Womble. That's all I got.
And I'm Christian. I call myself the rookie of the group.
Mark's back in the studio again.
Hey.
I am Bernard. This is the first time I've been here live in studio. Previously, I've been on the phone. I'm happy to be here.
Bernard, co-founder
Yes, indeed.
of Brewz Brothers. So let's not just say Bernard. So let's give up the props, man. You the man. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
And today is
Wayne's Day.
it's Wayne's Day
Also,
Harry's Day.
and Daniel's
Donker's
birthday.
Day. Right, and absolutely Daniel Hahn's birthday. Happy birthday, Dan.
happy birthday, Dan.
And I think we've got a lot of Wayne's Day worthy brews on the table. We're
Man,
starting out with
we
this
brought
Pink
him out
Snow.
for Bernard, man. Pink Snow. from
Pink
the
Snow
brewery.
is brewery and Funky Buddha collab that we're starting with, and I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Imperial cream ale brew with lactose, guava, dragon fruit, coconut,
I
and
saw that.
vanilla added.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm a flex guy.
Nice balance. I don't get much coconut.
No, we got lots of guava and other fruit. We got
I
all
get
this
some of the
stuff. Are these
coconut
the
on the
same?
back end.
Pretty nice. That
Okay.
works.
Yeah.
That works. Nice body to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's up first tonight, Harry?
So I wanted to jump into something real quick because for a while we have been on this founders thing and their whole incident / deal with their diversity or lack thereof and situation they had going on. And I know that I personally have spent a lot of time talking about how they have not moved on it and so on and so forth. And I want to, at this point, let folks know that they have addressed it, at least in the way of hiring a diversity and inclusion manager for Founders Brewing Company. I don't want to put her name and info out there yet because I don't want people flooding her, with all kinds of business in her first few days. But I have kind of connected with her in a preliminary sort of way, and I'm kind of anxious to see what exactly she's going to be able to do and what kind of ideas she has. So kudos to them for, better late than never. Kudos to them for at least taking that step, and we'll see where it moves from there.
Yeah.
right.
When you had originally, when we've had this discussion
Yep.
for like 4 months
Yep.
now. But when they said they were getting a diversity person, I flippantly made the joke. Let's see what comes up out of that.
Yep.
And,
So they've made the initial move, so we'll still kind of wait and see in terms of what kind of action comes from that. But it's a step, and it's a step in the right direction.
See, and that's my question now. They've taken a first step, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm not ready to take that first step
Oh no,
until
not
we
by any
see,
means.
some type of action plan or what type of impact that she's going to have on their brand. And until that's done, I'm still in the same forget about founders until we see something more than just a hire.
Yeah, there's no forgiveness at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm certainly going to extend an invite to her to appear on the show.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll accept it, and we can have some conversation and see what her plans are and see what Founders' overall plan is, and see how we can move forward, or if in fact we can move forward. So we'll, like I said, it'll all shake out one way or the other sooner than later.
Matt, I pose the question: what do you want to see founders do? Do you, as a consumer, have an expectation or a thought process of what they should go about doing to bring your patronage back?
I would like to see founders admit a shortcoming prior to this. I would like to see them say, "Hey, we dropped the ball, you know, in the way we handled this, and we're looking to. We brought this person on to make sure that doesn't happen again."
I think had founders done that from the onset, we would not be in this predicament that we're in now.
Absolutely.
You know, if they would have just stood up to the plate and say, "Hey, we messed up."
I'd like to see more than 13 to 16% of the workforce be more minority in two of the largest minority cities in Michigan. That's the statistic that blows,
matters the most.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, you go 2 blocks down here, see who's serving you, see who's behind the bar, see who's in the sales area. You're not going to see any minority people there. I would bet, and behind the scenes in the brewery, you know, it's probably even less. So.
Oh, absolutely. So I mean, you know, I'm interested in hearing what her ideas are
To increase that number.
And because again, we had this conversation. I don't need founders to specifically reach out to black people and say buy our beer, but I also don't need them to disregard people of color when issues arise. And people are telling them, "Hey, this is an issue." I don't for them to be tone deaf and to kind of keep pushing it down the road is not acceptable. And so again, I appreciate your question, Matt. And so that, in short, that's my expectation.
I mean, it seems. I mean, anybody can put out a press release, though, right? And do one of those. We should have known, you know, bits. But it seems like, I don't know. I feel like. Moving back to the point you just made is people in the industry, people of color in the industry, they're like behind the bars and making the liquid. So I feel like they should do something to promote that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, I've talked to people at like Schoolcraft where they have the distilling school. I don't know what the makeup of that, you know, people of color versus white folks or up at Central or at Ferris. I mean, I went to Central, so I'm going to guess probably not that much to be in that. So I would think it would be a step further, founders, they have the money. Why not establish a Schoolcraft, like a scholarship?
Internship.
Or, I would say teach people of color or just of all diversity to make the product. So why don't you do a founder scholarship with something like Schoolcraft, where you find a minority person, you give them a scholarship. It's only a 1-year class, so it's not like it's like a real college thing. But you give them a couple grand, you take them to Schoolcraft, you teach them how to brew beer, and then you offer them a position when it's done. And whether they're into distilling or fermenting or just serving beer, they have the whole restaurant, environment at that establishment. So whatever course they choose, it makes them qualified to work at Founders, either Grand Rapids or Detroit. Sorry.
Founders, are you listening to Matt?
So
he drinks hams, but he's making a damn good point.
Well, they've got a program at Eastern too. Ypsilanti.
Yeah.
Good school.
And it gives founders an opportunity to be a bit of a trailblazer in that regard. Because to my knowledge, that's not happening with any of these local breweries, at least not the larger ones. I know
Bet on Draft gave out a scholarship.
Better on Draft gave out a scholarship. That's something that Brothaz is working on putting together. And I know when we were talking with Kevin from over at North Center, when I was on Better on Draft the last time, we talked about that as well. But in terms of the larger breweries in the state, that gives founders an opportunity to say, hey, this needs to happen.
And they've got that San Miguel money, so it's not like they're short on funds.
Money isn't their problem at all.
They can't pull this. Oh, we don't have the opportunity.
The owners fly around in a jet, right? So, come on.
Well, unless he has a cape, I don't know how else he would fly.
Well, a private one. So,
Private cape or a private jet?
Yeah, but both.
Yes.
Probably have both.
But I think it's imperative on the community as a whole to be that snowball that turns into an avalanche. I remember
And hold founders accountable.
Well, that too, but bringing people of color into the craft beer community. We've all, we've kind of debated privately about having, a people of color brew community. Brewz
Right.
Brothers is that first snowflake that lands on the mountain. Now we kind of have to take it upon ourselves and really gather momentum and grow, the community, to prevent corporations to thinking they can say, forget this group of people because of, the perceived notion of their willingness, ableness, interest in our product, to where there's allies of the community as well that will stand with you and grow that
Right.
snowball.
You
Black
bring up
beer
a good-
dollars matter.
Absolutely, black beer dollars matter. You bring up a good point about allies, and that was what I was going to touch on. I was on a local beer group when Founders released their barrel-aged Imperial Stout, and there was all of this complaining about the way they did it, bottle limits, and how people could come in and buy 5 cases, and people were like, I'm not buying Founders anymore. And so my comment was, well, I'm glad to see where the line is drawn now. Poor releases, I'm done messing with Founders. Racism, I'm going to keep drinking it. So, got a lot of snide remarks from people in this group, which again brings the question, where exactly are the allies to communities of color when we talk about the beer community? And some remarks were snide and some were downright obnoxious. And it gave me very much a barometer of where we are in terms of who is and is not concerned about what actually is going on with regard to people of color in the industry.
And that's in Brewz Brothers, which is, we're in there for diversity, right?
Brewz Brothers will have you feel insulated to what's going on in the real world.
Exactly.
And the other group that you're referring to, which I also belong to, is really more of a snapshot of the real world. When we look at what's going on now with the White House and our president, and just the division that's being drawn up in this country on racial divides, it's filtering through the beer community, and it's not exempt from that. And your comments really brought it to light.
Yeah.
And you could tell who were the orange supporters and who were not.
And there was one particular comment that stands out to me, because one thing that came out was that there were a lot of people who claimed to not know about what was going on at Founders, which I'm not in a position to say who does or doesn't know what. There was one gentleman who said, I knew all about it and I drank the shit out of Founders, and posted a picture of himself with cases and cases of Founders beer. So again, it gives us kind of a snapshot.
That was a taunt.
It was.
That was nothing but a taunt.
Right.
It was.
He trying to lure you in to say, hey.
And you saw my
I
response.
saw what happened. I drank the shit out of it.
And I said, that's great. Cheers, bro.
Was
and
his
I
shit ironed properly?
He removed his hood for the picture, but
Red hat on these days.
right, exactly.
Removed his hood, but had his black face on.
Right, exactly. Maybe he was running for office in Virginia. Who knows?
No, he would already had all this.
I can't talk politics, right?
I'm curious about these brewmaster programs at these various universities, how they're recruiting. Who are they recruiting to? What is the makeup of their program in terms of ethnicity? Anybody know anything about that? I didn't even know Eastern had a program.
First and foremost, I think we need to reach out to them.
Yeah.
Harry knows the one of the instructors
Over at Schoolcraft,
over at
yeah.
Schoolcraft. So that would be that'd be interesting to see what the statistics are on that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bernard for that brash. What was it, Bernard?
Milk the Venom.
Yeah, that was some
It's
good
a
stuff.
Imperial Stout
Yeah.
with chipotle, coffee, and toasted coconut.
Anybody who doesn't know about Brash, Bernard has been my connect for Brash since he's been down there, and I've been drinking their beers, and I don't know how they're not more popular. Brash does some amazing stuff, particularly their stouts. Kick you in the face, really good flavors. Everything I've had from them has been very well done.
Yeah, Mr. Dan got this one I opened up from Wiley. No signature required. Or signature required. That's their Imperial something.
I have the
Chocolate, marshmallow, and walnut.
the Brute Down IPA from Axel, also with their wings. Dan was super
This is
kind
what I'm
enough to
talking
just
about. We went from no beers open to there's a few beers open. That's what we're supposed to be
If
doing.
you're into the brewed IPAs,
Tasted
this is
beers.
strongly
These
suggested.
wings are pretty phenomenal, man. Shout
Chicken
out to Axel.
Oh.
Chicken shawarma wings.
Yeah.
These are crack wings, as far as I'm concerned. You can have the fries.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep
yeah,
the
we'll
wing.
keep the wings. These wings are.
There's a garlic dipping sauce, and there's pickled vegetables right here.
Somebody should probably pass me that garlic.
Sorry,
I don't
sorry
think-
to your wife for later.
I don't
know,
think
right?
Bernard knew what he was getting into when we started cracking like 3 at once.
Oh no, I'm ready.
Well, no, he's great. I made it clear that we were going to roll out the red carpet when he came.
You're
so.
flying tomorrow. No, no holding back.
I'll be
Tell me that
asleep.
wing is amazing with that garlic sauce.
It is. It's
You're losing your
incredible.
mind.
What do you think about that pairing? It's coffee cake. What's it called? Fiesta Mexican Coffee Cake Stout.
Kind of a Hunapoo clone, isn't it?
I think
Oh,
so.
think so? That's a big statement.
I don't know. I haven't tasted it yet.
So I don't want
just,
to lose our conversation real
I'm
quick.
sorry.
No, no worries, no worries. So as we go around the table, what are some other expectations from founders in terms of what can they do to earn your dollar back?
I want to see them address what happened in some form of a press release. In my mind, it's not too late for you to go back. Now that you've hired someone, this person should be professional enough to be able to craft a statement that says, we messed up, here's what we're doing to go forward. I don't know if I don't know what to tell them to do. This isn't my area of expertise, but I want to hear what they have to say. What are you going to do? How are you going to approach it? And I'll decide if that's something I accept.
You want to see some effort.
But I want to see them try it, right?
Yeah, that first press release was junk.
Right.
This is, it's what every company is going to do, though.
It was a
This
canned
is,
response.
Yeah.
This is baseless, blah, blah, blah. It's,
Yeah.
that's
They can do better.
That's no good. Well,
They're starting.
Yeah.
But I want to see what happens next.
Christian, what about you? What can founders do to earn your dollar back?
I'm not sure. I like the idea of them doing a kind of brewery program, but I kind of wish this would just gear us into opening our own breweries and stuff like that. That way we don't have to focus on whether somebody wants us to drink their beers or not.
We've talked about that too, haven't we?
We did. So Matt and I had a pretty extensive conversation about that. And we probably could do a whole show on.
I mean, we just started. We've got
Yeah, right.
we've got the microphones.
But one of the things we talked about was the attaining the capital to do it. And
My
Matt-
children have told me that I need to open up a brewery and a brew pub. They tell me all the time. They say, Dad, you have too many beers. You go out to too many of the beer spots. Why don't you just open one? And it's like, hey.
Make it a business expense.
And who says that? No, I'm sorry.
Hold on, man. Your boss might be
my
listening.
boss might be
man.
listening. But with that, we definitely need to look into that. I think the capital is not the issue. I think we can find the capital. I think it is the know-how and the commitment that's the bigger issue. Because there's always the great idea, and capital can be found with the right plan in place.
Yep.
So let's make that happen. I look at this Brewz Brothers format that we do have to develop into a whole lot more things, and it was actually sad. One of the things I wanted to talk about today was I put a list on Brewz Brothers earlier today about 7 of the top black breweries in the country. 7
Of the top.
of the top
That was.
of the top.
It's weird that they did 7
It's-
of the top.
It's like, okay, because there was only 8 of them.
Right. That was my thing. They couldn't
that
do a
eight
top
was-
10 because
so-
they're represented.
You couldn't
Total
do a top
butt.
10. You had to do a top 7.
So who they leave off?
And-
734? Is that?
Well, I didn't see Weathered Souls.
Okay, so that's 2.
So that's so there were 10, and they took 7. I mean, that's sad, So with that, the closest black-owned brewery that I'm aware of is in Toledo.
Well, you got 734 and
734.
it's Ipsy. Yeah.
Okay.
Cultivate. Kuma does the brewing at
Yeah.
He's a gypsy brewer.
Yeah.
I mean, so he doesn't
Well,
have a
he's-
facility, but
He's worked at Glass House.
Tecumseh?
He worked in Tecumseh. He worked at not Grizzly Peak, but Blue
Yeah.
Tractor.
Well, not breweries.
well, we were
Right.
talking
Well,
about having people both in the industry and,
Yeah.
and on top of the industry. So, I mean, Kuma does great beer. He just did a collab with Shorts. So I think he's one of the young rising stars in the community who just happens to be of color. And I think he doesn't get enough DAP, period. You know, when people talk about great breweries, I think Kuma should
So we
be
need
up
to
there.
His
reach out
brewing
to
has
him.
definitely
We
come
do.
along.
He's in the group and
look at.
I think
as
he's
we
in
talk
Hawaii
about
right now.
opening up
But yeah,
Yeah.
a spot,
yeah.
and he's a gypsy brewer. You know that there could be some
Some
cohesion
synergy
in
there. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I think we were talking on on Facebook. If you look at a map of Michigan, and you can go to mibeermap.com, and that will take you to a Google Map overlay of all the breweries in the state of Michigan. But here locally in Metro Detroit, if you go, I think the Eric Smith from Ashley's fame,
Yes.
he's a blogger, and he says if you're west of I-75 but south of 696, east of 275, and north of Grand River
Okay.
or the Lodge, even
Yeah.
there is not a single brewery.
It's a desert.
It's a beer desert.
Yeah.
And that's also where there's a predominance of people of color. Rosemont Brewz and Bistro will be opening up to kind of break that.
Yep.
I hear there's one opening up on Livernois, on the Avenue of Fashion.
Well, that's what we were talking about. That'd be a great place
That's
to put
that's
one
the
like
area that Matt and I
right,
discussed.
right,
So
University District, where you would get kids
Right.
that are hip to craft beer.
you got
and then
businesses there. You got
you've got-
restaurants
You've
there.
got the Avenue of Fashion a
Yep.
mile away to insulate it. Yeah, just pass it down.
Have you had this?
Not yet, no. But
really good.
I got my
Oops.
bowl.
And for those that are not watching on Facebook Live,
'cause I
Matt
will-
Bush is drinking out of a crystal bowl.
Hams,
Is there a story
hams out of a
behind
dog
this?
bowl.
There's a story behind that. I'll let Matt tell it.
So, it was.
Then we'll resume.
Well, it actually works because it's an Old Nation thread.
Yes.
So someone, when
Shout out to Old Nation.
Boss Tweed
Here,
came
here.
out, or maybe it was double dry hop, one of the M43s, they said you need to have a really wide
Let
rimmed
it open
glass to get the aroma of the beer. So
Mark
the fu-
said that, didn't he?
Sounds like a Mark thing to say.
Yeah.
So we were talking about basically a bathtub kind of a glass because you could put your whole face into it. So the next week, Grady was on the Better on Draft podcast.
Not
Grady.
it was
I'm
sorry,
Grady,
God.
not Grady. It was
Holy
Harry.
mo-
It was Harry Weaver the third.
Grady is in Wisconsin. Grady is not. As a matter of fact, Grady is not in the room.
Not even in the studio. Matt, we're gonna have a conversation at the break.
Five
It was-
So
Five
you were better than
five Grady's. Hey, Grady.
It's that ham.
Harry
Grady, let him finish up now.
Okay, yeah.
was in the studio at Better on Draft. Harry was there, and so I had just gotten
Come on, Sam, finish up.
DDH M43. So I poured the DDH 43 into this. And then after we put it around a second time, I actually got a bowl about 3 times the size of this and put it out and then put it in just to be obnoxious, if you will. It's kind of the trolley thing I do.
I was gonna say, I've never
Really,
known you to be
you?
obnoxious.
I can't
But
believe you.
if you've looked on like Instagram or beer pages in the last 6 weeks, you'll realize that breweries are now branding bowls for their IPAs to get that aroma. This is something
You're-
Add it to
you're a
the idea,
trendsetter.
honey.
I'm okay with that.
I've got to say that there is a place where I draw a line, and I think drinking from a bowl just might be my
Oh,
line.
this is really good.
You've
Is a bowl
really good.
enhancing it?
It tastes like a wow.
It's like
Bowl
a
enhancements.
s'mores
Yeah,
kinda-
I've had things from a bowl. but
Sasha, how do you feel
not
about
beer.
bowl enhancements?
Next time anybody gets a hands on this, let me know. I will happily trade.
well, yeah, it's from Greeley.
What is this beer?
It's Wiley Roots. It's,
where they're out of.
they're Greeley, Colorado.
so it's
I
Colorado.
happened to be driving. It was part of my 5,000 mile drive over the past 7 days.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sorry, gentlemen.
So,
let's-
birthday boy Dan Hahn actually drove up to Weld Works to meet me there because it was just off the return route to deliver a bunch of beers. And Wiley is closed on Mondays, and he had gone up on Sunday for some Weld Works because they just released the strawberry milkshake.
Yep.
which Grady, may or may not, may or may not open up tonight.
Yep.
Now, you guys have been monopolizing the conversation. Sasha, how do you feel about bowl enhancements?
Why are you doing this to me today?
We're just talking about bowls. And
Bowls.
God. I move on.
Are you just say, hey, you know what? I'm indifferent, and pass the bowl.
Indifferent.
and pass the bowl.
Pass the bowl. Yeah.
I look at it like this on bowl enhancement. Animals drink out of bowls. We have to rise up.
Well,
Above
Matt is an animal. You get a couple shandies, a couple hams, and a diet burners. That guy goes.
Hide the burners. Hide the wife, hide the kids.
The diverners.
He's lifting a leg and a fire hydrant.
That might be one of the best beers I've had in a long time.
That's delicious.
Yeah, that's good.
Shout out to a local brewery. Well, not a local, but a Michigan brewery. Paw Paw Brewing Company. It's the second to last exit off of 94 as you get into Indiana.
Oh, no. Pawpaw is way back.
No, Paw Paw is the second to last exit
They put
on
a
94.
they put a new
It's been there for about 6 years.
huh.
They have this vanilla espresso porter. It literally blew my mind off.
That sounds phenomenal.
It
Road
was,
trip.
It was the best dark beer I've had in my life, and this might be fighting it. But it was.
If they sprinkle some coconut in it, Sasha
No.
will leave right now. and
Right
go get
now, in my van.
I mean, you could put like coconut around the rim and drink it like a
Anytime
margarita.
coconut's
Or,
involved.
A
I'm
coconut rim.
Bloody
huh?
Mary.
The coconut rim. What does that mean?
It's the way he says it.
We're 15 minutes in and we're off the rails already. Good job. Good job.
Y'all started before.
I never knew that because I'd either stop at Greenbush, which is it's like 6 miles.
I'm not
off
sure.
the- Coconut rim in the Greenbush.
Just can't.
Transient, right there in Bridgman.
Do yourself a favor. Paw Paw is the last exit, or the second to last exit. New Buffalo is the actual last exit. The second to last exit before you leave the state of Michigan, or if you're lucky enough to come into the state of Michigan, is the second exit in. Paw Paw Brewing Company. I think it's Jake's Eyes. It was named after a dog. The greatest porter in the state of Michigan. I'm just gonna.
I mean, you know, I'm sorry,
That's-
man.
that's-
I
that's
just
a-
got to
that's a
throw it
huge
out there
Now,
because
no rules as a porter. You do know.
I would go out to say this is better than no rules.
What?
Man.
See, now,
Hey,
Like
hey.
I'm going to talk about
I'm sorry.
Slow down
for a
now.
basic, like primordial porter
My
out of
problem-
OG, like that.
Mark, I'm sorry. Everyone.
I'm gonna get schooled. Sorry.
We're giving Matt too much credit.
Says the guy. Yeah.
He's right. He's got a hams in
Guy
front of
drinks
him.
Right.
candies and hams, and you're taking his
Sit
word
down.
out of a bowl. Sit down.
So here is my
Shandy's, hams, and Diet Verners. His beverages of choice, and you're going to believe his porter choice.
here's why I say it's the best porter in the state of
I
Michigan.
bring it.
Okay.
It is a clean, crisp, all-day drinking porter. It's not a 12%er that I'm going to drink a bomber of and be done with. It's something that I can do the laundry and drink all day. I can cut the grass while I'm doing it. I
So
can,
it's the hams of porters.
don't you do it. But the thing is, I like it.
Ding ding.
Right. Where's the bell?
The thing is, I like hams, so I'm okay with it.
Right.
It's $3.99 for a
what I said,
six-pack
Mark?
beer.
You know, you guys are giving in to this, and it's the hams of porters. So now we understand.
Well, I was the only other person
tell you
that I
what.
believe in past podcasts that said I would drink a hams.
well, here you
so-
go.
Actually, there's one in that box. Your box. actually. Wait.
My
So
God.
you know, we left the conversation. I think that Christian was the last one to actually answer directly, and as our
I
token
think you should
white
take
guy,
an inaugural
Donkers,
sip. Just take one sip.
what could, in your eyes, what could
sip.
found as an ally to the community as you've been, you know, all along the ride, so to speak. What do you look at as what founders could do to earn your money back?
Well, I had already originally said like get over that 13 to 16%.
Right, you did.
Like
Okay.
that to me, that's a sore thumb.
Yeah, invest in the community.
Yeah. Bring people in. Like, get them.
I'm
Well,
drinking hams.
they're probably paying well, right?
I would imagine so.
Bring in people that live in the area.
Yeah.
You know, get them committed to the cause. Right?
Yeah.
Have a sip, Bernard. Have a sip.
Bernard, don't do it to
Don't
yourself,
do it.
brother.
Don't do it.
Is it Jake's? Was it this one?
Yeah.
Don't do it to yourself.
Well, it's kind of like water. It's a nice.
It's an alternative.
It's a
Is
nice.
it-
It's
is
a
it
nice.
sparkling
It's
water?
a, it's a nice wash.
palate
It's
cleanser.
a palate cleanser.
It's a
That's what I'm gonna use it
$3.99
as.
six pack.
Palate cleanser.
There's a reason
you
for
don't.
that.
You don't
No,
buy the
but
30-pack
let's-
cubes.
So
Because
but-
that's what you got to do.
I did that once.
back on target though with Mark's comment. I agree wholeheartedly that we need to be able to walk in the Founders in Detroit and Grand Rapids and to see more people that represent the community that the breweries are in. You know, and we're not saying that, okay, Detroit is maybe 85% black, but, you know, we're not expecting an 85% black workforce.
Right.
But it should be very noticeable that, you know, hey, at least 50%, at least 1 out of 2. I mean, it should be a very noticeable difference rather than I've been into that Founders on a few occasions, and I can count the number of times I've seen someone of color not on the door at security.
But aside from just being an employee of
Yeah.
Founders, I can't remember. I've been there probably 5 or 6 times before I learned about this, but the way I'm treated there, I don't feel like they
That's
want
more-
me there.
no.
Whether it's a person of color behind the counter or not. Like, I've never had like just awesome or great service. So that's important to me as
That-
well.
that-
See, I feel differently about that because I've not been to the one in Detroit, but I've been to the one in Grand Rapids and no problems. They were perfectly fine.
Well, that one's
Grand Rapids
This
is
is
different than
different.
one in Detroit.
different.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I went to one. I fell in love with Founders in Grand Rapids.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to stop and
It was
make it
an
a point
experience.
to go through whatever. You know, I would stop if we were 60 or 30 miles close to it.
Yep.
We're stopping by Founders in
Grand
Grand
session in
Rapids.
Kalamazoo. Oh, going to
Oh, we're
Founders.
going to Founders.
Grand session in Grand Rapids. Oh, we're going to
Oh, we're
Founders.
Founders. We're going to Founders.
That was my
Okay.
first beer
And-
release.
and-
I went with Wayne, and that's kind of how I fell in love
Don't you
with.
mean you went with Grady?
We're all
I'm
named
Grady.
Grady.
I'm Grady.
Grady number 2.
That's kind of how. I,
That's going to last a while, Matt.
Yeah.
but that's how I got hooked on beer releases and all that stuff from there. So yes, it is a little bit
And we had
different
that
up
was a
there.
great weekend.
It was.
We went up there. We ate well. They treated us good. We got our brews. Had a great time. I mean, it was like I was buying Founders gear and shirts.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah,
I
right, yeah.
was in love with Founders. And to come home and was so excited about, wow.
I mean,
I
that
don't
was a
have to
big
go.
deal.
I don't have to go.
That was a
away,
huge deal.
And I can go down the street 15 minutes and
Yeah.
get my
15
KBS.
Yeah.
And walk in the store and be treated like, what the hell are you doing here?
Right. Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm going, well, shit, why are you here?
Yeah. Right. That's the
grew up in
question.
the-
Why are you here?
And so it just changed the whole dynamic because now you're in the Cass Corridor. Let's not get Midtown twisted.
Right. Let's look outside.
Yes.
Let's not get
thank
Midtown
you.
twisted. This is Cass Corridor. And a block away, they're still homeless. They're still whatever
Yep.
you want to happen. And this is still the Cass Corridor.
That's really what I wanted to speak to. It's my opinion that it was a bad idea for them to open in a neighborhood where they had zero equity.
Yeah.
They need to do some community outreach and be a good neighbor.
There you go. There you
Absolutely.
That's what they need to do.
Absolutely.
That's what my fervent belief is. They need to be a good neighbor and build some equity up in this neighborhood because they can call it Midtown all they want, but I know what it is.
It's Cass Corridor. And the reality of it is it's a depressed community. And there's no way around that. You can massage the numbers all you want and you can talk about the influx of people to quote unquote Midtown. And
Hipsters.
The hipsters, right.
Google people, Googlers.
Right. All the dollars flowing through Midtown businesses and things like that.
Yeah, but they're bad neighbors too.
They're bad neighbors too. It's a collection of it's a
Because
bad
they're
neighbors
pretending it
association.
doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, it's that gentrification bubble.
Nice
I mean,
word.
they basically, you know, they know that they made the new stadium down there, and everything's just kind of pushing outwards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a calculation pretty much on Founders Point, where they're going to be like, hey, they're going to build all these new condominiums, you know, here in 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Let's
stacks,
get in
stacks,
now.
No, they're
stacks,
here. They're
stack.
here.
Well, I mean, they're
Don't be
the,
confused.
no, they're further down the road, but you know, people have to walk a little bit.
No, they get on
But-
the queue line.
But
Oh, the queue line.
but
thing
but
moves
the fact of the matter is, I mean, it's just you know, it's just
Bernard hit it. They need to be good neighbors.
Be good neighbors.
And by being a good neighbors, they'll do everything that we talked about. Because
So-
that's what a good neighbor would do.
And I don't think that's unreasonable to ask from anyone, a business or my neighbors. You know what I mean?
I think being an ally of the community, and I think there's 2 points that I have to make. Number one, I'm going to credit Steven Rogenson from Batch. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
So he makes, Batch makes Dick
What's
Smasher.
some of his beers? Dick Smasher.
Dick
Dick Smasher, Dick Smasher in the rye. Yeah.
So the
You
story
ever had
behind
that one, Sasha?
Does it have a does it have a coconut ring?
Please don't put a date on it.
So again, real quick, the story behind Dick Smasher is Steven wanted to do a thank you beer for one of his female employees because she had been with him.
And he called it Dick Smasher.
Well, no,
Well,
no,
yeah,
no,
listen
no,
to the
no,
story.
no,
Listen
no,
yeah,
no, no.
listen to the story.
So he said, you write the recipe, we'll brew it, and you can name it. And she named it Dick Smasher because she wanted to be the furthest thing from a girly sounding beer.
Somewhat like Yellow Belly.
Sure.
In terms of
Exact-
Yellow Belly, is
exactly.
if you look at Yellow Belly in the packaging, you
The-
get turned off of it.
The white.
But
the-
with the white KKK,
KKK
and all
the
that.
explanation.
Have you seen a Yellow Belly?
I don't even want
Oh,
to
I'm the polo.
It's
Omnipolo.
by Omnipolo.
Okay.
Swedish.
And it's Swedish company, and so it's in a white wrapper that they twist and looks
Oh,
like the
yeah.
Klan hood.
I see what you. Oh, yeah, I've seen
You
that
know,
before.
but if you look at it, the first thing you're gonna say is, "Man, what the hell? I'm not going anywhere near that."
And the head brewer there is Ethiopian, by the way.
But if once you read what it talks about and what a Yellow Belly is,
Coward.
and it talks about it being a coward, and you know, so it goes into detail. You're like, man, I love what they're saying,
Yep.
and you love drinking the beer.
And that is a fine
So-
That's a great
peanut
beer.
butter.
That
Peanut
is
butter.
an
Oh.
incredible.
Real
beer.
quick, back to Batch.
Nothing like smashing a
So
Yellow Belly.
Steven said, I can't fight the misogynist culture in beer. I can only enable the women in the craft beer community to do that.
Yep.
So that being said, I can't fight the people of color battle in the craft beer scene.
Yep.
I can only push you guys forward and enable you to do it with it. That's
Yep.
why I call myself an ally, not a Brewz brother.
And for those of you, it really was an interesting conversation with the crew from Batch.
It's hams,
Oh, I
man. Don't
knocked
worry
over the
about
hams.
that. No.
Damn.
Nobody wants. Nobody wants hands on the lap.
No
I,
Brewz are hard in the making of
Go
this
home
episode.
smelling like you pissed yourself.
I did actually really enjoy the Batch episode. So if you guys are inclined to do so, kind of backtrack on Better on Draft and check out the episode with the folks from Batch. It was really very enlightening, and it made me actually want to. They make great beer, but it made me
You've
want
got
to
good food
support
down
them
there too.
got
I enjoy
good
that.
food.
even more than I already did. So yeah, definitely check it out when you get a minute.
But I guess my thought is, as an ally of the community, I can't help the community. I can only support what the community does.
Right.
So
right.
I figured my train of thought. I think a great thing that founders could do, especially with this whatever they want to call her, is teach their people to interact with or serve to the community.
And that's
because
important.
the typical craft beer person is a suburbanite who's moved to the city and they get a job bartending.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're from Shelby Township or Dearborn, you probably have never seen a black person before in your life,
Yep.
let alone interacted with
Interacted,
one.
right.
So when you see 90%, 95% of the people in Founders as a white person, when you see the person of color that
When
comes
Grady
in,
comes in,
you are taken aback. That you are, what are you doing here? Or I didn't expect you.
where's
Which
Fred?
which is a wrong thing to have.
It's-
Let's put it that. But
It's
the
not
issue,
an excuse, though.
But the thing is, what I think founders should teach their staff
Right.
to engage that micro fraction of the community to grab that 5% and draw them in, because that dollar isn't being spent in craft beer that much.
And there are people around the area with lots of experience who specialize in doing that kind of work.
I mean, at the end of the day, just treat them like you want to be treated, and it doesn't matter what their racial skin tones are.
But I guess,
You know.
being a white kid from the burbs, you see the news and you hear about driving into the city. So when you're driving into the city from Royal Oak and you don't see anybody like that and they just show up at your door trying to get a table, you don't have that interaction with people.
I guess it's like me going out to Clawson. I'm not afraid of getting ran up on by a meth head in Clawson. But that's a different. I mean, that dynamic, the dynamic is that the way the portrayal is played, and this is true because when there's a conviction or there's someone arrested who's black, and they show him on the news, you see his mugshot.
Yep.
When someone's arrested, if Grady's arrested, you see his mugshot. If Matt here's arrested, they're going to show his high school picture.
Or family picture.
That's because
Like here,
I don't
here he
take
is.
mugshots
Here he
very
is with
well.
his kids.
You know, right. But even though you've just taken a mugshot because you've just been arrested, they aren't going to show that. They're still going to show your high school or family picture. And so you're going to come across on TV as a
It's
different
human.
type.
As a
persona.
thug.
Right. It's
As a
relatable.
person.
Not-
That's right, you know?
not a criminal.
That
Right.
criminalized mugshot. I mean, so right there, you've just been parlayed into criminality, whether both of them could have been innocent or both of them could have been guilty. But by the picture alone, you're going to say Grady's guilty and Matt's not.
So my thought is, being an
Right.
ally of the community,
Grady is a criminal.
Not this Grady. The other Grady.
He's a smooth criminal.
Sade.
I think, and that would be something that the community and the allies of the community should make more of a show of force at these establishments. Because not that I need to be with you for you to get service.
What kind
Bernard,
of
jump
what
in,
kind of
jump in,
force are you
Bernard.
talking about, Matt?
Why don't we show up 20 deep and roll and demand a table? Okay.
We do, and you know what happens? They get scared.
But you know what
because,
happens?
Because we've gone in after lodge meeting and showed up 20 deep, and they don't know how to act. And
Masonic Temple right next door.
We're
Right.
with the Masonic
that's-
Temple, and we're going in with our black and whites on,
Yeah, fully suited.
fully suited after lodge.
That's where my people, I suppose, need to try to push that. Is let me put in a table of 20, and them coordinate tables real fast because they think, oh, there's 20 white dudes going to show up, and then me be the one white guy of 19 others, and the people that have never seen a group of 19 people of color now have an experience with them that they say, oh, okay.
And they're all coming in black suits.
Exactly.
They're looking very intimidating. and the thing they don't realize is this group of 20 are great tippers.
I was
They
gonna
perks
say
a lot.
this group of 20 is gonna make your sales day if
Yep.
nobody else comes in here tonight.
So I think that's where the allies of the community can do is we can push you forward. We can be the. I mean, I can't say like we're sitting at the lunch counters by
So
any
you can say
means.
my money's good, is what you're saying.
Is let me get your foot in the door and then let me help you break the stereotype because that's what it is. It's a stereotype. It's what are you doing here? How do we serve you? What are the things
and
we
what,
say?
what
Because
you're articulating is what allies are for. That is the important part of actually being an ally and claiming to be an ally. So a lot of times individuals that claim that ally title say, hey, I'm with you guys. I hope you do well. Not going anywhere with y'all, but I hope you do well. Whereas a true ally
A
says, you know
behind the
what?
scenes ally.
Right. And that's not an ally. If you can't be my ally outside, you can't be my ally at my house. So for you to say, hey, I'll roll with y'all and we'll make this show of force or however we want to phrase it, we'll make it together because that's the kind of ally I am. That's important, and those are the kinds of allies that are necessary.
But I just want to throw this out there from my perspective. There's a very delicate line to walk in the allies' perspective to know where to walk and when not to walk, to know when to
What do you
start.
mean by that?
Because I think if I was with you and I thought, let's fight the struggle together, that's the wrong kind of ally because I think that I'm with you in the struggle. When it's somebody
you.
who recognizes that there are certain things I can do to help you,
Right.
but I can't fight your fight.
I don't know your real struggle.
There's
I don't
certain
have your real
things
struggle.
you just don't
Yeah,
experience.
but so
I still go home and I'll be arrested and it won't be my mugshot.
right, I guess, or you know, I don't want to. I'm not going to link arms in arms with you because the struggle that you grew up with, I didn't. So it'd be disingenuous to say I'm going to do this. So it's the right-hearted allies. So I mean,
Yeah.
everybody can say we want to fight racism in any venue. But the ones that want to do it the right way is what we need. We don't need someone who says, I'm going to stand with you on a picket line. No, it's I'm going to help you make signs, help you recruit people.
Right.
I'm going to watch you on the from the sideline because, again, it's not my fight. I can only support you in your fight.
And your place is also the ability
Cheers to that, Matt Bush.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit Matt Bush with a bell.
Ding, ding.
You also have the ability to recruit other allies. Because the truth of the matter is,
No, my job is to educate people, convert them to allies.
And through that, you've recruited them. That's my point.
Yes.
Because there are going to be individuals who say, yeah, my allyship don't quite go that far. And they can get the hell on, no problem. But you're going to weed people out in that.
I saw that shit. I still drink Founders.
I drink the shit out of it. Here's stacks and stacks of meat.
But it's
in front
also,
of it.
again, it's also educating them. It's not like, again, I can come and I can fight with you, but if I need to know my place.
Yeah.
You know, everybody. If I tell everybody, let's support the Brewz Brothers.
Right.
Sasha, we're only an hour in. And are you a lush or what?
Sorry.
But we
Sasha's
also,
been trying to get at that beer for
She's thirsty.
I'm
Is
sorry,
that the
go ahead,
coconut
man.
rim?
I'm gonna take a little more.
It's got toasted coconut.
Oh, it's a toasted coconut.
but we need to educate ourselves as the non-people of color as to what the issues are, how to combat those issues, and where we belong in the fight. Because if I grab 10 people and I said, let's go fight against racism, they'd be cool with it, but they don't know where our support stops and where the fight begins. Because, again, if I get 10 kids from Shelby Township, sorry, I mean, it's not going to move the ball forward.
They're fighting the fight they don't know about. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're right.
And that's the issue is then it becomes disingenuous, and then you become one of those Berkeley hipsters that are fighting in Oakland for who knows what.
I'm sorry. Speaking of hipsters,
not only is Matt
Christian
Bush
had to be
drinking from a
$11
bowl,
for that Fiji.
not only is Matt Bush drinking
Put
from
it
a
on my
bowl,
tab.
he's swirling his beer in the bowl.
Yeah, I need to get that crystal flavor.
Matt, I may have to tap you to come in Houston and give that talk again.
You dig what I'm
because
saying? Yeah.
I live in the most diverse city in North America.
Yeah.
And we still have this same issue.
Wow.
But the thing is, so here's the thing. I think that's good. Because hear me out here.
Okay.
Okay?
I just turned to
You
you.
you
she
gave
turned
me,
around.
I heard your eyes roll. You gave me that look.
You gave him the sister turn.
Like
We know what the sister turn.
I don't know
look
what you're talking about.
I know you don't.
Go on, darling.
Matt might not know the sister turn.
lightly.
I know the sister
He
turn.
knows it now.
So,
Oh, he's about to find out.
so let's think. Dearborn is a great example of where I'm going to go with this. Okay. Mexican Town is a great example of where I'm going with this. While not advocating separationism at all, I think there's a certain goodness or a certain. Yeah, I'm going to go with goodness because I don't know another word. Where if I go to Dearborn, I can live the Middle Eastern experience. I can have some of the best Middle Eastern food. I can see what it's like to kind of live there.
It's a level of authenticity.
Yes.
Yeah,
Same thing
yeah.
with if I go to Mexican Town, I can have some. I'm not going to get this processed Taco Bell,
Right, you're
fast
gonna get
casual.
real Mexican food.
Yeah, I'm going to interact with people that are legitimately living their Mexican lives to say, because they have the food trucks in the corner, they run the party stores, they run small businesses. They're
No, you go into Mexican Town and you're gonna get some real Mexican stuff. And
you're going to have
it's
the
gonna be authentic.
It's gonna be authentic.
You're going to have the quote unquote Mexican experience. Like if you go to Dearborn, you're going to have the Middle Eastern experience. So I think it's good, back in Hamtramck in the 50s, you had the Polish experience or the German experience. I think it's imperative that each culture have a place in an area where you can get that experience of that community there without having to go to Iraq or going to Mexico. And then while you're there, you interact with people, you break bread, you learn you're not that different, you're just a zip code away, but essentially you're the same hot pink center as everybody else. And there's really nothing outside of our skin color that makes us any different than anybody.
My cousin, who's on the group, DJ Calhoun, checked in with me on the text. He's at a tap room, presumably somewhere in South Carolina. He didn't say where he is, but he's watching us, and he's from here as well, and he's echoing our sentiments. Midtown is a very new moniker, and for those that have been here, this is Cass Corridor.
Cass Corridor,
I went
man.
to Cass Tech, and
Sorry to hear that.
I know.
hey man,
That's
somebody
it.
get
I mean,
Christian
you
out of
know.
here. Sasha, you can leave too.
Oh.
So,
I mean, look, man.
I'll tell anybody in the world that my experience at Cass Tech,
He wanted to go to Renaissance, man. Leave him alone.
nobody wanted. People ended up at Renaissance. Nobody wanted to go to Renaissance. But
Everyone want to go to Kilbourne.
what? What's that?
Seaside.
Are you Shelby Township, by the way?
Oh, Shelby.
Former
Shout out to
Okay.
Shelby
That
Township.
makes sense now.
And the farmers out of Shelby Township when it's all farmland.
But the point that I was making about having gone to Cass Tech and having that Cass
Is that a
corridor,
barn house you went to, Matt?
having had that Cass Corridor experience and having dealt with that population in a very authentic way, I know people who may or may not have skipped class to walk to the liquor store that was 2 blocks away, or whatever the case
Was it
might
2
be.
blocks? I thought it was around the corner.
It's 2 blocks.
It's 2 blocks.
I didn't even go to school there, and I know
But
it's 2
it's
blocks.
you know the
Two
store I'm
city
talking
blocks,
about.
two
It's
city
2 blocks, right? But my point is that those people there, that individuals may refer to as bums or derelicts or whatever, those people embraced us. And if we were at the store and we were supposed to be in school, it was like, get your ass out of this store and go back to school before you end up out here with me.
Yeah.
And that is my Cass Corridor experience.
I went to summer school at Cass for chemistry one year. And so that story is very true.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they would tell you, get your ass out
Yeah,
of here.
they didn't bother us.
You're not gonna be like me,
That's
but
right.
don't come in here.
That's right.
with that.
And they'll tell it, I've heard many stories from those people. And a lot of times after they tell you the story, they ask you for $1 or $2, but whatever. Yeah. But a lot of times the stories are the same. It was, I had a great life up until this point. This is where I made the mistake. This is where you shouldn't make the mistake.
Hey, interruption real quick. Anybody looking for a maple bourbon, barrel-aged, imperial Mexican, biscotti, toasted coconut cake break?
Man, how
pretty good
big
price.
is that label?
Pretty good price on it. And your cousin Calhoun,
Yeah,
your Westbrook connection.
that's my Westbrook Connect.
Love you, man.
So yeah, that's my Cass Corridor experience. And that when I come to this area, I don't think Midtown. I think Cass Corridor, and I think that experience, and I think those people who are still here, pass them on the way here on the corner at the store.
They're right there.
They're right there.
While we're having this conversation, when I heard of Cass
I had
Corridor,
to beep and have them get out the way as I came.
Right.
Because I came in the alley.
when I
Because
heard,
this is theirs. They don't care about your car. They're going to walk around.
when I heard Cass Corridor in 2002 as a white kid up in Shelby, I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Right.
I heard it's the last place in the city. I heard the Davison and Cass. Those are the 2 places you don't ever want to need gas or have your tire blow out.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
I mean, there's a few other spots you better
There's a few
stay
other
off the
spots.
road.
I've learned.
Hey,
I've
hey,
learned.
now.
Plenty
Hey,
better.
hey.
You know, I'm just
I'm from
stating
Zero.
Stay away,
the
stay away from exit 9, man.
I knew she was going to say that.
Right. Stay away from exit 9. You already know.
That's because KDZ said that.
No, that's because I had
2002
experiences on exit 9.
Exit 9 is real.
Isn't that 2002 is quaint? That's quaint.
Well, and
back
I'll
in
tell
the
you,
day,
places.
Yes.
And it's such a turnaround. And don't get me wrong. I'm glad to see any area become safer, but I want it to be safer for everybody. Matt Bush, for you as a white man in the middle of the night, anywhere from Midtown to downtown, you're probably in the safest place in the state.
You're safe as hell.
Now,
I mean,
if
what's going on right now?
Venture north of Midtown, you on your own.
Yeah.
But
True.
Detroit, and I've been saying this for years, and people looked at me when I was crazy when I first said that Detroit is going to be the new Chicago.
yeah,
And in Chicago, downtown is off limits. Everybody knows downtown is off limits. You don't do anything downtown.
Well, hey, Greektown, that was a couple months ago.
That's-
Stuff went crazy.
You're going to have an incident
Flare
here
up.
or there,
Yeah.
flare up, but in Chicago, downtown is off limits. Now, over on the south side,
do what you
You've
want.
never been past downtown.
Right.
yeah.
They don't even know a zoo exists
You know.
because the zoo is in Lincoln Park.
So that is what Detroit has become. Where downtown, I mean, it was a couple years, I think we may have talked about this, but a couple years ago, there was a shooting on Mack and 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And in the paper and on the news reports, they said there was a shooting in southwest Detroit.
On Mack and 3rd.
That's around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mack and 3rd is right there from where we are, but they called it southwest Detroit. Technically, geographically,
that's north.
that is southwest. No, it's still,
It's technically
it's
in
technically
the
southwest
Yeah.
quadrant
Yeah.
of the city, and that's where they were short to label it. They could not label it as a shooting in Midtown. They could not label it as a shooting around Gilbert and Illich and everything that's going on. So they labeled the shooting as Southwest Detroit. And I saw, man, is it over on 30th or I'm thinking of
Big
Southwest
number
Detroit.
streets. Yeah, number streets.
I'm not thinking of, but then it said Mack and 3rd. Hell, that's right there.
Yeah.
So it's all in the perception of the media and how they label and how things go.
So real quick, while we've got a little bit of a pause in action, I wanted to acknowledge. You're gonna pass that can down, Sasha, the one we just popped.
Yes.
Wolverine this Fare Thee Well is the last beer from their brewmaster, their outgoing brewmaster, and they actually just hired a woman brewmaster. I do not recall her
Promoted her.
name. Promoted her, yes. So I'm wondering. I'm
Does
thinking
she use a lot of coconut?
maybe she might be the only lady brewmaster in the state.
Well, she came over from Witch's Hat.
Yep.
And she was the assistant brewmaster over at Wolverine.
And now she's the
Now
top dog.
now she's the top person.
Yep.
They're also hiring an assistant. Well, maybe they already filled that position.
Did they call you?
I didn't apply.
Didn't apply.
No.
Yes.
I ain't gonna make lagers.
You know, and I want to acknowledge this IPA we just popped from Holmes. It is so this IPA.
Oh, can I have the rest of it?
You can, but can you pass me the can real quick?
That's more of
I'm
a.
gonna pour it first, and then I'm gonna.
It's a
Oh,
sour.
wow.
It's a sour IPA.
That
So
was such a smooth, selfish move that Sasha just pulled.
We've
Love it,
we've got
spicy.
a
I'm gonna
we
pour
got a
it
second
first.
sour IPA to compare it against a little later on.
right. So I didn't think I would like it. I'm not a sour
Sour
guy.
Harry.
Right.
But when I saw
Tart,
the alcohol,
tart.
it's
Tart.
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 not
Tart
sour.
grade.
Not
But when I saw the ABV, I said, okay, I could probably do this one. But this is a collaboration between Holmes and The Last Word. So The Last Word makes a cocktail by this same name called the Aversa Riviera. And Holmes said, let's try to replicate this in a beer. And I've not had the cocktail from The Last Word.
I have.
But so how close
It
is
is
it?
very close. It's
Is it?
very. I like this a lot, and I'm not a sour fan.
Nor am I. I love it.
This is
Yeah,
great.
it's very good.
I got to give a shout out to Robin Schulz, who gave
Shout out
us,
to Robin.
Man,
Gave-
Rob's a good dude, man.
gave us a 55-gallon barrel
Yeah.
to make
Details to come.
Brewz Mageddon.
Yeah, Brewz
Bruce
Mageddon.
Mageddon. Stay tuned. Bruce
Stay
Mageddon.
tuned for Brewz
Drop the
Mageddon.
Z, just Brewmageddon. No?
No,
Nah,
no.
Brewz.
Come on,
Brew,
man.
Brew
Brewz
Mageddon.
Brothers,
Brew,
Brewz.
Brew,
I'll
that's-
leave. I'll show myself.
We're Bruce Brothers. Man,
Brew
come on.
Mageddon was my original
you hear he
beer
wants to
that
drop
this
our
is based
Z?
on.
First, right, I'm Grady. He want to drop the Z, bringing in hams. Come on, man. Don't make your first visit your
Next thing
last
you know,
one.
he's gonna call us.
Did you try the hams yet?
Hey, he's gonna call us Beer Brothers.
Beer Brothers.
So,
It's at the beginning of the Wayans Brothers, right?
so look, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Matt, I want to rap with you a little bit about these boxes you brought.
Let's do it. Actually, I have 2 more boxes, too, so
Cool. So, we'll take a short break, and we'll come
I asked
back.
everybody for sizes.
You did. I don't know who all responded, but we'll come back shortly and talk to Matt and get into some other things. Be back in a bit. Brewz Brothers, episode number 7.
For the culture.
For the
For the
culture.
culture.
Cheers.
Can we do a pause on Bruce Brothers Live? I don't know how to do
Got a couple more beers on the table, popping open. Got some
That's
more
the one
stuff
you-
from Brash. Finishing up a couple things that were on the table. Kind of left off talking about this Holmes release that was in collaboration with The Last Word. Excellent beer. Their last release actually was great. And I also want to give a shout out to Ascension. Their last release was great as well. Doing some great IPAs here in Michigan. And I seem to find myself saying it every single show. We don't need to go outside of the state of Michigan for Northeast IPAs. Yeah, I know, right? It's an old bit at this point.
What do you think makes a good release?
Efficiency.
Okay, and
Efficiency and people actually being able to get the beer.
How was Jade and Silent Bob? Because I obviously didn't get any.
Phenomenal.
negative.
You didn't get any?
I didn't like it. I didn't think it was good.
You don't even like IPAs.
Yeah, I
Oh,
do.
no, I'm thinking about Kent.
Well,
Kent.
that
You guys look alike.
The one
He's a shandy drinker, man. Leave him alone.
the one before
Tastes like a Band-Aid.
the one before this where we did the we had the
Whoa, you know.
we had the Secreto.
Yes.
So shout
Yep.
out to Secreto. Grady supplied me with with one. Sorry, man. I'm gonna ding you on that all night.
Next, you gotta call him.
that-
Next, you gotta call him
Dang.
Wayne.
That was
Right, with Wayne sitting right
it
here.
was fantastic, and I don't know how this latest one was because I don't have one, but
Yeah.
maybe something like a milkshake IPA might change someone.
I was going to say, we might be able to work something out because I might have one left.
Did you
It was awesome. That Trippa from
You know
Ascension
what?
was
As a
great.
matter of fact, no, it's not though. I might have one left. I'll check when I get home. If I got one, it's yours.
All right.
But this, I mean, it was great. The body was great. Great mouthfeel. As always, the alcohol was pretty well hidden.
Somebody said it was a little more bitter.
Is it dank?
A little more bitter.
Little bit.
This is super dank. This is like biting a hot.
That's why it's called Cali Green.
Yeah.
As the resident reefer smoker,
RRF.
I mean, it smells like you're gonna get a contact.
It does,
when you
right?
pour it.
If you're in
You know,
Michigan,
it's
if you're in
that bad.
Michigan,
It's like you don't taste it on the front, and then on the back, you're like, oh, there's something there, and then it's gone.
Well, good thing Cali Green's legal in
This
Michigan
almost
now.
tastes like
Right.
an IPL.
Well, and yeah, because it's very
Because it
light in
goes
the body.
away as soon as it's in your mouth. Like there's no linger to it.
Yeah, I agree. So
What do you think, Sasha?
You
Any
asked
linger
about
to
Jade
it?
and Silent Bob. It was great.
We don't want linger.
But the full spectrum,
You want him to go home.
the newest any IPA from them was great. Now the can is amazing can artwork, and so I won't say I was suspicious because Ascension has been doing good work. But I'm like, this is a pretty cool can. I hope the beer inside the can is just as good, and it was. It's really good.
artwork is like 20% of the battle. Like,
It is, right?
Like 18th Street.
good point.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
some like decent beers, right?
Hey, do I need my medical
you
card
buy
for that
you,
beer?
you buy
I feel like it, right?
you buy those cans and the artwork is so awesome.
Yeah, great artwork on this one. Really good. So while we got Matt Bush here in studio with us,
Better on draft.
from Better on Draft.
And he's got a new promotion coming on.
He
too,
does.
with
That's what I
this
was-
Michigan
that's what
beer
I was gonna
box.
touch
Actually, I
on.
mean, you guys were kind of essential in coming out. I mean, that was
Yeah,
the
I
Brewz
was
Brothers
on
episode,
the
too.
I was on the ground floor with that when Matt was talking about it on the break, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty interesting.
So, My Beer Box, mibeerbox.com, My Beer Box on all the socials. It's basically a brewery swag in a box.
Did Max send in his check for this? Okay, we'll talk about that later.
It's
Actually,
coming. It's coming. We'll
I've
get
got
it. All right.
so Sasha's right now got the premium box. Bernard's got the regular box. So the idea is beer
What's
tour.
in the premium box?
So the regular box is either a T-shirt or glassware with coasters, stickers, a write-up, and free beer. The premium box has both T-shirt
Hams
and
is the
glassware.
beer, or is that what just a
So the
joke
first,
tonight?
the first
Can I open
brewery,
it?
yeah, absolutely. The first brewery is actually North Center Brewing Company in Northville, Michigan, who was also on that episode when Harry was there.
Yep.
So, as you open the box, you get a write-up on the brewery. You're gonna get a T-shirt, their sticker, a free
Show it to
beer.
the camera. We're live.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
So the idea is, a lot of people love beer tourism. Okay.
No,
And
Sasha, come on now. Price is right. Dun, 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 dun.
so basically, so
Do you want what's behind door number 1?
So at Better on Draft, we bring a brewer
Got a
to
coconut ring.
to your sound system or to you every week. So we wanted to try to bring you to the brewery. So the only way we could do that is to do the beer box. So basically, you're gonna it's gonna be like you went to this brewery. You're gonna know what they serve, what they have. You're going to get a beer if you go there. And it basically gives you the whole brewery experience whether or not you go there.
Okay.
All right.
So the premise is to just kind of promote the beer community. And when you go, you learn about it. So
Let's come out for a
What's
free
that
pint.
free?
free beer, free pint when you go to North Center Brewing Company.
Nice.
So
Nice.
basically, I mean, the way I think about it is, if you go to a brewery and you buy a T-shirt, it's going to cost you $20.
Yeah.
On average. If you get a sticker, it's going to cost you $1. If you get a beer, it's going to cost you $5 to $6. So you're basically looking at $25 to $26 right there. I'm going to send you this box for $30.
Okay.
Right to your door.
You don't
once
have
a
to go
month.
anywhere.
You don't have to go anywhere.
Yep.
And the thing is, we're gonna find these small hidden path breweries. So it's not. I'm not gonna send you Founders in a box.
Don't.
Don't.
I'm gonna find.
Find a return address.
I'm gonna send you something like North Center, which is
Yeah.
out off the beaten path. Nobody's heard of it before. Well, people have heard of it, but not a lot of people have heard of it. To encourage you to go there and check out new breweries.
How do breweries connect with you?
mybeerbox.com or mybeerbox on the grams of instance or the
grams
books
of
of faces.
All right. Books of Faces.
So we don't charge the brewery at all to be in the box.
Okay.
So we just say,
Give us-
just give my subscribers something when they come to you because we sent them.
Gotcha.
So that's the only commitment the brewery
Just a
has to make
referral, basically.
is to treat my subscribers well. Don't do what Founders does. Treat my subscribers, my clients, really well because they're part of the beer to the beer box. So, a lot of people, they have kids, so they can't do the beer tourism that they once did. You don't know of these breweries. Like we've got a brewery in March that was coming up that hasn't even been open yet.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a crowd of people that know about these people
Yep.
before they even open.
Yep.
So they're excited to be a part of it. So not only are you going to have a featured brewery, we've been approached by online homebrew supply companies
Okay.
to sponsor the boxes. So you're going to get
Nice.
coupons to buy your homebrew supplies from them because you're part of the beer box.
Okay.
We've been approached by how would you call it?
Box or
I'm
We
making
need your
messes.
bowl.
bowl,
man.
here's
We
the
need your
bowl.
bowl. We need your bowl.
We've been approached by let's call it a craft beer chain restaurant.
Wow, quite an explosion over there, Sasha.
Wait.
the box explosion.
We're gonna have
Put
to
the
close
box
her
on-
eyes while she licks her hand.
Cameras off.
Oh, it's all on Facebook Live.
It is.
Check it out
It
now.
I hate y'all so much.
Look at her
I'm
fingers.
sorry.
Just use my hoodie.
Thank you.
Oh, two hands.
Ally of the community.
That was a double hander.
This is how you're an ally of the community.
Let's quit.
How was that for you, man?
Talking.
She's got nice hands.
Evidently, that My Beer box is very absorbent.
Hey.
Oh, is it?
High quality
Very
carbon.
good.
God.
Over
So-
the shirt.
No, the shirt.
Oh, the shirt. Yeah. So we actually have the one goal I
And look
have.
how that bowl comes in handy. too.
Matt, you are good.
That's
for something.
Finally.
It's Morgan from Pileated is carbonated.
I wanted to make sure the shirts I was sending were quality shirts because, if grab that shirt out of the box.
Yeah.
Tell me how it feels. Because if I'm going to send you a shirt for $30, it better be a
Tell
damn.
me how it feels, huh?
Oh, that's beautiful. What is it? Velvet?
Reach
There's a nice
into the
quality shirt.
box. Is it velvety?
How's it
It's a
feel,
nice,
Sasha?
It's a nice quality.
I've been living in this.
nice
hoodie.
weight to the
What's
shirt.
wrong with you today? You're
Gross.
so naughty.
Yeah.
You're so naughty.
Yeah.
So I've washed my shirt, and my hoodie probably 3 or 4 times a piece, and they haven't. No, that's not
No,
napkin.
I'm sticky. No.
Oh, no. Wait, well, we only got like 55 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
Wow.
So
I'm done
anyways,
with y'all. Thank you. Go on. Just go on.
if you go to mybeerbox.com and you subscribe and you type in Brothaz, BROTHERZ at checkout, you're gonna get 10% off or $10 off your 6-month subscription box.
Say that one more time.
Brothers. So I'm gonna
BR.
Oh, you might gotta make sure.
BROTH.
Let me help you with the spelling.
Oh, I am amongst the brothers.
Well, no, I want to make sure I get the code right, so I don't lead you astray. But so if you subscribe to, so we have a 1, 3, 6, and 12-month box.
Okay.
The 6-month box has by far been the most popular.
Okay.
Right now for a T-shirt box, $165 for 6 months breaks out to like $25 $8 a shirt or $28 a month. If you put in the code Brothers, hold on, let me get back to discount codes.
Come on, say it like the brothers say.
I don't want to appropriate. I don't want.
You're not appropriating.
We're gonna tell you if you are.
Yeah, we got you covered, man.
Well, while he's waiting, I do have a redaction
Okay.
Redaction. Ooh.
that I
How often do you use that a week?
well, me.
I was gonna say we might not want to ask how many times Donkers uses that in a week.
I use it very infrequently. However, it was Andrew that gave me that Jade and Silent Bob, not Harry.
Right, but you're right because Andrew got them from me. I think I picked them up.
Yes.
And yeah, we were able to kind of take it from there.
So apologies, Andrew.
So all right, real quick. So at checkout, use the word Brewz, BREWZ.
All right.
Use Brewz at checkout,
Spell that again.
BREWZ.
Well, that works
Correct.
out very
That works.
nicely.
we spell.
Yep.
That's how we
Use
spell it.
Brewz at checkout. You'll get $10 off the 6-month subscription box. And I tell you what, for everybody who uses it, I will give $2 to the Brewz Brothers to help promote the community.
My man.
I'll
Nice.
start it. So
All right.
everybody who
Now
uses
on the box, what type of
That's ally shit. I like that.
I just want to know in terms of the sealant that they use on the boxes, is it a
packing
tough
tape. I would
packing
hope so.
tape? Is it very sticky?
Like a stick.
Like
Like a
stick.
So we're gonna.
Quit.
I think Sasha's about 8 seconds off of cursing somebody out.
I can't.
So
I can't.
be ready to mute her mic. Because I don't know that our listeners want to be assaulted
Oh
with.
gosh,
with what she-
I'm just bad today.
So-
I can't get it together.
You're gonna get a T-shirt and a box of a new brewery that you've never heard of. You're gonna get a free beer when you go to that brewery, or a free flight, or something of that nature. You're gonna get top-notch exclusives from other breweries that haven't even opened up yet. So you're gonna know about beer and breweries before everybody else does. You're gonna be the creme de la creme. You're gonna get $10 off when you use code name Brewz, BREWZ, and you're gonna support the Brewz Brothers because every time I see that code, I'm gonna give them $2 to the show. And I
thought you said 10.
That's what it sounded
$10
like.
off,
Yeah.
$2 back to the
You know, okay.
I have to make
minus.
margins. I have to make.
Right,
I have to
right.
make. So basically, you're gonna get a 6-month subscription for 5, and you're gonna pay for 5 months.
Yeah.
So you're basically get a free month when you use it. We are actually closing orders for February Saturday night.
Okay.
Shipments go out Monday. Or shipments start Monday.
And if I may, with both the founders on either side of me, I propose that all funds coming from this my
beer box.
beer box goes towards the new scholarship that we want to enable for that brewing.
Oh, absolutely.
Here.
Yeah.
Second that.
Yep.
Well,
Absolutely.
hold on. I got to sell boxes first. I can't give you like $3 for the.
If
For
that's
the
what you
scholarship.
get, that's what you get. We're not worried about that. We want to.
We're just
Making sure we're-
making,
you know, where
making
those
it known
$3 go.
that those monies that do come in from the
Wherever you want to put it, whatever.
will go
But again,
towards
as
our
an ally, all I can do is promote you and give you that soapbox. Yeah, I'll try. What you do with what I give you, that's up to you. So
We appreciate it, man, because Better on Draft is obviously a great friend of the program, and you know we got our jump off, so to speak.
we got our jump off from Better on
from
Draft.
you guys. So
Who'da
definitely.
thunk
Wait a
it?
minute, y'all got jump offs.
Oh yeah, you down in Texas, man. You got jump
That's
offs
that's for
everything.
after
You know,
the show.
after the
That's
show.
another conversation. But we got our start
We're just getting started,
from
man.
Better on Draft, and so we definitely want to continue that relationship.
Absolutely,
and we appreciate
It's
it.
been a blessing to have you guys as much as it is for you guys to work with us. You know, the reason why we brought you on, I think, is because typically when you start a podcast, you need so many podcasts before you get onto the
Right.
apps and
Yep.
the things. And we wanted you to just go right there.
Yep, we
So we
appreciate
figured
it.
we'd use our leverage a little bit to
Definitely.
get your voice out. Because again, Better on Draft is all about the community of beer and craft beer. So we don't care if you know, our logic is if you like it, it's a good beer.
Even
so-
if it's hams, huh?
Ham is fucking good. You had a sip. You didn't vomit.
Man,
I
You had a
did
sip.
vomit. I
You
had a
drank your
sip.
whole cup.
I had to, man. It was my palate cleanser, but you know we won't discuss that hams and we won't give it the accreditation that no.
One of these days, I'm gonna convert. Like I remember you brought. Was it you that brought your brother-in-law onto the show?
He's right there.
Was it you? Oh, I'm not looking at him as much, you know. And he said you converted him from Bud Light Platinum. I'm going to convert you back to hams.
You were
He's
drinking
trying to
Bud Light
recruit you for
Platinum.
the-
I was
to the
drinking
rebellion,
Bud Light
man.
Platinum.
He remembered that. You know why he remembered that? Because he wanted to get you back.
I would
have never known that.
I want to get you all back.
That's not
that's
gonna
not
happen.
back
I don't
to me.
know,
That's
I don't
not-
know.
We're
that's
gonna
not
get you.
what-
gonna
We're gonna
that's
get you
not
on
where-
hams. We're gonna get you. On,
Hey,
soul.
all you
Do you
did
see-
was
you see that look on
solidify it with
Bernard's
his
face?
hams.
There's
That's-
availability for both levels.
No.
But you best know where you're at.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
That's
Matt.
retaliated.
Matt, what you've done with his hams is guarantee that it will not be in my lineup.
I tell you what, this pilated is. I would drink hams a million times before I'll take another sip of this pilated.
All right. So
This pilot is.
Let's talk about this.
I'm gonna give another
Did you bring
shout.
this
I'm
one,
gonna give
Sasha?
another shout out
This
to
is
Rob
disgusting.
Scholes, who
Yeah.
down at his alley bar.
Yep.
He gave them one of the barrels for this.
This tastes like smoked hot dog and Band-Aid.
The Morgan that he
So it
had
tastes
down
like
at the
hams.
alley bar, phenomenal.
Okay,
Really?
okay. So this, I hear you
This
on
is-
that.
this
This
is-
is my second
this
one.
is not the
This
same.
is not the same. This
This
is
is
not
not
the
the
same
same.
as the first one I had.
No.
And it's way more carbonated this
But
time around.
well, yeah, it blew.
It blew.
Sasha, you blew up.
But they usually, she grew up a screw up. Got introduced to the game. Come on. No?
But-
Okay.
Oh.
No,
But the
She
first
blew
one I
up.
had, stop it.
She
The first
exploded.
one I had was not nearly this carbonated. It was way better than this. And so I thought I'll bring that because I really enjoyed it. I thought I'd bring it out. The first one I had was from the brewery in Bomber. So this was in a can. I just found at Lucky's and was like, hey, it's in a can. Sweet.
Was
I
it
don't
Lucky?
know.
So I'll tell you what.
It,
If,
it was unlucky.
if you ever need to,
So Matt, it
this-
does
this-
taste like
this-
hot dogs.
this
so
one-
I know nothing's wrong with your
well-
palate. So
Right.
Why are you drinking?
why the fuck are you drinking hams?
because it's $3.99 for a
this,
6-pack of 16-ounce beers.
this actually has a little bit of like an Islay taste to it. So a little,
what?
little
Oh.
smoke Islay. If you,
What's Islay?
You're not a
It's a
Scotch
sc-
guy.
you're
so
not a
you
Scotch
might
guy.
not
Oh.
be with that particular,
Shelby Township, I
verbiage.
forget.
Oh,
Hey,
Wait, let me get that open.
That shit
from
is
you,
brewed
brother.
by Oscar Mayer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
See?
sorry, fellas. The one I had in the Bomber from
My
the brewery
pilots
was
have
good.
a
tell you
first
what.
name. OSCAR.
Put that chicken wing in a beer.
pilot
and see what
has a
that
second
does
name.
taste like.
Now I smell like hot dogs.
NYER. I like to eat it every day.
There's some.
If you ask me why I say
no, there's some hand sanitizer.
fine,
Right.
I say hot
we
dog.
have drifted
Double barrel
off,
Benthic.
off course.
It's because there's an ice storm outside. We
Knock
always
over.
drift.
Are we done with my beer box?
Sorry.
Yeah, sure we can be. I mean, subscribe.
if you-
on
yeah,
Patreon.
more shit. You got more,
Subscribe
let us know.
because
No.
it's good. It's good.
It is.
It's an excellent deal. And
It's fun. I
secondarily,
guess like the goal of my beer box is if you're a craft beer elitist, which is pretty much the box of this or the purpose of this, you're gonna know about beer, breweries before everybody else. You're gonna get their liquor before everybody else. You're gonna get like soft opening passes. You know, it's basically craft beer in a box. Everything I can possibly do. I can't sell beer because I'm not a party store.
Right.
That's coming if this gets off the air or if this gets off the ground. But when you go to the brewery, you're going to get free beer from the beer box. If you're a home brewer, you're going to get cheaper homebrew supplies from the beer box. If you like to go to multi-taps that have chains and sound like Schmopcat, you're probably going to get discounts when you go because you're part of the beer box. So this beer box is going to start as a t-shirt company, but it's going to be an entire experience by the end of the year.
that's good because I'm not selling Brewz Mageddon. I'm donating it to people for
We
a
can
cause.
put we can
cause.
we can put it in the
Exactly.
we can put it in the box. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
This double barrel Benthic has an amazing nose. I don't know if anybody is.
Is that what that is?
Where's this from,
Find
Harry?
its
Half
way
acre.
around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here. Let
Thank
me
you. Yes,
pour you a little.
please
Is there
save me
anything else
from
that's
hot dog
unopened
water.
down there?
What's
Ooh,
that?
that's
I think we got a sour. No.
No, any unopened beers.
Sasha pours are like tiny.
You've got the more. Oh, there's a little bit Axel down
No,
here.
what's in that other can? Unopened.
That's the sour.
Nobody
That's
else
the,
wants the
let's
more.
say the sour.
Do you want your bowl back?
You know what's in my bowl?
All right,
How
so
about
water?
topics. I wanted to talk about technology.
Strawberry milkshake.
Okay, that's my thing.
All
What you
right,
got?
all right, Sasha. I want to talk about how technology changed my beer drinking habits.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'll talk about the number one thing was Untapped. I started in like
Badge whore.
well,
Badge whore.
yeah, well, I mean, I was the badger before anybody.
Shout out Rate Beer, which just got bought by ABI or XY Ventures, which owns that. So Rate Beer is officially not craft beer anymore.
Yeah, well,
It has been.
I've never cared about rate beer anyway because most of the people that were talking about it didn't know what they were talking
It's
about.
funny. It's funny though.
Well, that's the same thing with
And Bev
Untapped.
just bought a big chunk of rate beer too.
Somebody got
No, they
another
finished
empty
their
cup down
purchase
there.
of it. It's
They fin-
100%
An empty
ABI.
cup?
It's 100 AB now. Oh wow.
But
No. I did want to bring it, but let's get back to your beer. I
let's
don't want to
finish- let's
jump
finish the
around.
beer technology.
Let's finish that first because that was my topic of the night. Was that purchase?
okay, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Carry on.
Anyway, technology like Untapped, that application which I started using about 2013, like just after a year at it, it came out. I mean, badging was one thing because they started putting out badges if you bought, macro brews, and sure, yeah, what would I do? I'd go out just so I could get that badge, but it's shifted. That application's shifted for me a lot because what I use it now for is if I'm going to an area, I look at the breweries around the area, I look at the beers that are on that, and I look at what my friends,
Yep.
after now 6 years, I look at what my friends have said about them, and those that are good ones leave comments,
Yeah.
not just ratings.
Guilty.
Here, here.
Guilty. Took too much
Well-
time, and I drink too
well,
many beers. to
well,
do all that.
everybody
It's too
kn-
much.
I at
well,
least take a picture.
The
man.
people that are friends with me on Untapped know I comment on every beer.
And I will look to your comments for something
So
that I'm interested in.
some of them. I mean, that proves to variance whether I have a different experience than someone else.
Now the thing
It's
though,
not just taste though.
that I'll take with that though, is your friends are on Untapped, and the friends that you've had to share with, you respect their palates. Like I'll respect your rating, Mark, versus Matt's Ham's rating. I'm a little leery of.
5 stars.
You know.
Well, my check-in the other night of Mickey's
Ooh.
at
I'm
5
sorry.
at 5 stars.
Matt, you got him.
After
He's gone to the dark side.
after I'd driven 32 hours down to Tucson.
It was a 5-star.
It was a 5-star beer.
Was it a grenade bottle?
It was the 24-ounce bomber.
Okay, so you didn't solve the puzzle either. Which is why you get a Mickey's to get drunk and try to what was this person thinking?
No.
What,
I-
boxing glove.
I mean, 40 ounces were my key
Christian.
back a long time ago, but
If you start drinking Bud Platinum again, then the world has come to an end.
No,
Christian,
that
I
was
got
just the
you.
beer I was drinking
got you.
before I was introduced.
got
I
you.
didn't go back to.
No, I've got this. We can hang out with hands. $13 for a 30-pack, man. It's a weekend worth of beer for $13. You pay
That's
that
a problem for me.
But you pay that for a two.
This
You
is-
buy a bottle
this
for
is- this is
$13.
selling
Are you
point for
going to
you.
hold
It's a
hands with
problem
him,
for me.
Christian?
No,
He
I
said you
don't.
can hold hands.
No.
This is delicious.
It is.
You
This
buy
double
a
barrel
bottle for
Benthic is
13. I buy a
nice.
30-pack.
What is that, Sasha?
It's the double barrel
Benthic.
Benthic.
so
Benthic.
to go
That's how you get together.
to
What's
go
the
back to go back to
What's the
the
mouthfeel like?
technology. Yes, what's the mouth
It's
feel
kind
like,
of thick,
Sasha?
Wayne. It's kind of thick.
Wow, that's what she said.
Oh, did I stump you?
It's kind
Be ready on that.
is
Mute
it
that mic.
is it chocolatey too?
It's chocolatey. It's got a coconut rim.
Ooh, chocolatey thick with a
To go-
coconut rim.
Yes.
I'm starting to wonder if we're still talking about beer here. Is that what we?
Were we ever talking about beer?
to go back to the technology point.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes. Yes.
So, I was going to stop up and visit Mr. Dan.
Mm-hmm.
In
It's his birthday. So,
well,
yeah.
it's his birthday.
Yeah.
It is.
So in Greeley, because
Chocolatey.
that was right on my way. It's a half hour off the highway and a half hour back on.
Yeah.
So my brother didn't have too much of an argument about it, but we were driving my truck, so he couldn't see.
Yeah.
it.
What was he gonna say? Yeah.
And the
hitchhike
first
home.
thing I did is loaded up Untapped. Weldworks is on Untapped. So when I go into a place, I look first at their tap list and their things I've drank already, and say, do I need to drink this again, or is it something new that I want to change and drink up? And since I don't get out to Denver very often, it's nice to see what I've already drank. So technology has made a big difference for me in my drinking, not just for what's new, but also what my friends are getting at. I mean, after being on it for like 6 years, I have too many friends across the entire nation, which actually helps with trades. I've met some of the best people I know for beers that used to live in Ann Arbor that have gone elsewhere, and now they ship me boxes of stuff from other places. Portland, Steve Rattel, or
How many unique beers do you have on Untapped?
7 million.
Right.
I'm not
Y'all need
gonna.
me to get-
I'm not
get this
gonna.
back
I'm
in.
not gonna look it up right now because I don't want to like stretch out that.
He's a Guinness World Record holder.
Well,
No, he's
there-
an untapped world record holder.
I will say, although I don't take time to pay attention to the badges much, living where I live and nothing being a short drive, my favorite pub being maybe a 20-minute drive from my house in regular traffic, just the ability to go online and see what they're serving before I get there.
Well, that's beermenus.com.
Yeah.
Whatever the technology is, I'm grateful for
yeah,
it.
but beer menus updates like monthly.
Right. I
Right?
feel like Untapped
I want.
is pretty.
I want the up
I'll
to
let you
date
blow the
thing,
Siemens
Yeah.
Streets.
which
Absolutely.
which you know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Just shout out to Matt who took 12 minutes to open a wax cap. You know, I think
I just-
I passed it to him thinking he was going to
You
do
know.
something special.
Oh,
I thought you had a blade.
12 minutes later we got the bottle open. Oh wow, good stuff as he's drinking out his bowl. You know.
so this WeldWorks
That's good stuff.
double
It
strawberry
smells
milkshake.
phenomenal,
It was released last Saturday.
Now
Okay.
before I try this,
Just happened to be going by on time.
strawberry again.
Thank you.
Star 43.
Strawberry again goes back to our beginning
Sure does.
because on our Better on Draft initial podcast,
It was the release of
it was the
Strawberry
release of
M43.
M43 Strawberry.
Yep. The
Tart
Tussin.
strawberry.
That
The strawberry
that
eclair.
Tussin-
blend.
Still working
The
on
Tussin.
that tussin, that cough syrupy.
Wasn't that bad?
Well, I live in Texas, so
Pour some Tussin
got-
on
we
it.
That's- It's about the
Right.
same.
We got to clarify what we're talking about.
You are not leaning on that.
that cough syrupy Robitussin taste of M43 strawberry. Mm-hmm. And you know, it was so funny when Mark and Travis called us and said, "Hey,
Here's
have
a
you guys
podcast.
thought about doing a
Like,
podcast?"
did you listen to the whole thing?
And
That was my question.
And when I talk, and it's always so funny because I say, Christian, you're not gonna believe this, man. They asked if we thought about doing a podcast. He was like, who?
right.
And I said, Old Nation. He was like, Old Nation? Get the hell out of here. The way you dogged their beer online, he was like, but
No
it was
way.
not about their beer. It was about, as
about
Matt
that
said
beer.
earlier, it was about the voice
Being an ally.
and being an ally and you know, shout out to our allies of Old Nation,
Oh, absolutely.
who are
Absolutely.
truly an ally,
Yep.
and
I'll be
truly
there Saturday.
we are. And let's speak of that. Not just Saturday,
What's your pork?
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding.
2 weeks from today, we're having an Old Nation anonymous meeting.
Oh yes.
Ellen, we're in Williamston 2 weeks from
Eh?
today.
Have we
You
talked-
rolling?
Have
we're
we
rolling,
talked?
Ellen.
Are you
Ellen,
coming?
we're rolling. We talked about it. We're rolling, Ellen. Right, Ellen?
I gave you my yes.
Yay!
Remember, you just got to talk to Dave and Jess. Let
Yeah,
them
we-
know to
we-
make
we-
sure.
we got that
We're-
covered.
we're-
Okay.
we're-
Talk.
We
But
want to
I-
make sure you're coming.
I don't
We'll make
mind.
sure you-
I've driven out to Williamston before. I love it. It's a cute little town. They've got like a real nice theater company out there. So I'm a
We're
fan
not
of
going to the
Williamston.
theater.
It-
Well-
We're just going to Old Nation.
If you got another 3
Williamston
hours
is-
to kill,
Williamston is
Hey.
quaint.
I've been there once,
All right. So,
but I'm
hey,
just going Old Nation.
all you Brewz Brothers fans, you know we have a perpetual
A perpetual.
Old Nation Anonymous
The
meeting
gavel
that
never
goes
drops.
on. and next 2 weeks from today, we will be in Williamston live, Brewz Brothers live in real life
Yep.
for an Old Nation Anonymous meeting
Yep.
in real life.
Yep.
So we
Yep.
look forward to everybody coming on out.
Yes, indeed.
Mark is working on some specials.
Yeah.
I hear there might be some beer specials coming up.
What?
Maybe.
That's going on. There may be some
We
food specials
We
and
hope.
Mark
you know,
Logos.
if
get
not, we'll
on
just
it.
tear the joint up, you know, because
Right.
you got a bunch of anonymous drunks out there who,
Hey,
you know, what are you gonna
what are
do?
you going to do?
So we talked about where we're going to be located, and we've got a nice little spot allocated for the podcast, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody come on out to join with Brewz Brothers in real life at Old Nation in Williamston 2 weeks from today.
Hey man, this eclipse
See you
is
there.
nice. I thought
That
the honey was
it is.
gonna
that
be nice.
that
It's actually
2014
pretty good.
eclipse. I don't know what the orange wax is. I'd have to look it up on
is
the.
nice.
I already know it's High West.
Food color.
Nice.
It's High West.
I thought the honey was gonna ruin it.
You
This
know.
is-
I know when Dan first got out there to Colorado,
was nice.
both Wayne and I were like, I want that.
yeah,
I
those
want
bottles
that.
were
I
dirt
want
cheap,
that.
right?
Yep.
No,
Oh,
no,
they
they were
weren't.
not-
They
they were
weren't.
not
They were
dirt
not
cheap.
cheap, but they
They were
were.
plentiful though.
Well, I mean, they may be
Relative
they
to-
may be cheap in today's terms.
Right, that's
but,
what I'm-
but
right,
three
relative to-
3 years ago,
Yeah.
they weren't cheap.
So can I
They
go
were
back?
probably $30 a bottle.
Damn, probably 25 to 30.
Can I go
Yeah.
back to the technology aspect of craft beer?
Please.
And I
Please.
think it's kind of bastardized craft beer, to be honest. I think it's done the opposite of what you do. I think you use it responsibly, but just like every other media format, I think it's been corrupted by the keyboard cowboy, as you would call them, who wants to. And we've all done it where we try to get clickbait for it. So on Better on Draft, I don't use Untapped personally, but
Is Verner's on Untapped?
I do drink.
Diet bro.
Well, so Ken, the host of Better on Draft, I don't know if he's listening.
You better
Maybe
be.
he's drinking the Verner's.
Oh,
He-
he's on a
He's on
dry
vodka. He's
he's
drinking
on a
vodka.
dry spell, right?
He's on a no beer.
Oh,
spell.
no
he's
beer.
on, he's on
no
a gin
beer.
spell.
Yeah, okay.
So what he does is he trolls people. Like he put like quarter star for zombie dust just to see what people would say to like start the conversation. So I think it's good if used responsibly, but like so much social media and just the internet in general,
So many irresponsible users.
it's been bastardized.
Well,
People have just kind of taken it and like
corrupted.
ruined it for the rest of us because
I can agree with that, but Untapped is like a closed group, right? You're talking into
Not really.
You're
I
talking.
mean, you could
into-
be in your friends group, but I mean, you still see like if you go to mibeermap.com and you see
Got a
all the
plug.
breweries in the state of Michigan, you get their hours
Get the check here.
as well as their Untapped ratings that's linked to that brewery, and I can see every review that's ever been written on that brewery.
Sure.
So, if say you're going to Axel Brewing Company in Ferndale, which has clearly amazing
Here's to
wings,
Axel.
food.
Cheers to
their beer's
Axel,
great.
yeah, for sure.
They've got like a Michelin star.
Their burger's off the hook.
Yeah, and you can even eat that one with them with your pinkies up.
Shout out to Wayne
Wayne
Hearns.
Hearns,
But don't do
Yeah.
that.
my
But the thing is,
classmate.
I'm just afraid that Untapped does as much bad for the community as does good.
I suppose that's true. However,
brothers, in effect.
like
Mead like
it has made a difference.
Is what
like,
you've been waiting on. Mead
It-
Brothers
yeah.
is coming.
It's made
You
a
know?
difference in
Like Agnes.
my
We don't have to talk about
ability
it.
to choose what I'm drinking.
Here's my thought,
We won't let Matt open it because we'll be here till tomorrow.
and I'm sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't, because I was just saying that basically, like Dan, brother Dan, out
Happy
in
birthday,
Denver,
Dan.
Happy birthday,
says
brother.
I'm going out to Wiley. What do you want? And I can go through their beer list and look through it, and I can look through what people have said about it.
But see, I don't like that though because everybody's palate is different. So
Well, that's true, but it's an aggregate. So, when I can take a look at an aggregate score and I can take a look at what people said about it, and that's why I comment on everything instead of just leaving a rating. Because, any of my friends that are my friends on Untapped can see what I said about it. Aside from Mickey's, where I'm like, I rate this a 5-star because I've just driven 32 hours.
At this point, whatever you give me is going to be a
Right,
5-star.
Yeah.
But the issue with that is, so Better on Draft, we're gonna do a thing called Brewers Read Mean Untapped reviews, just like Jimmy Kimmel does. Celebrities read mean tweets. Like you'll see so many times like 0 stars. Brewz Brothers IPA 0 or 0.1 stars. I don't like IPAs. Well, then don't drink it, and even more,
Right.
don't rate it if you don't. If you already know you don't like the style. and
That's fine, but I can discard that. Like I can see that and be like, whatever.
It's not 18 minutes that you took to open the other one, man.
Wayne is an expert at opening mead.
I don't know why he wanted to check me.
So,
If we're gonna
Well,
talk about-
to your
it did
point-
not have wax on it though.
But
Yeah.
to your point, I use Untapped oftentimes for the same reason. And those people that are my friends on Untapped, I trust their reviews. So if I go somewhere and I see something
Now,
I haven't
Sasha,
had,
if you see if it has coconut in it, you have to be like,
You gotta take that with a
you
grain
gotta
of
take
salt.
Sasha with a grain of salt.
yeah. But if I see that Mark likes something and I know
Coconut
that we've
rim?
got, with the exception of sours,
Chocolate?
we've got a similar
Chocolatey
palate,
thick.
then I can be pretty confident that it's something I'm going to enjoy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I learned to know what people think about different beers on
Right.
there. So if someone rates a sour especially low, but they're say not a sour person,
Right. And that's what I do. I will refrain from rating a sour because it's not my thing. So I'll chronicle that I had it so that I can look back and say I've already had this and didn't like it. But I'm not going to rate it because it's just not my thing. So I'm not going to give it a quarter of a star because I hated a beer that I knew I wasn't going to like when I opened it.
I would like to see some innovation. As somebody who's done a little bit of home brewing, if I could connect with somebody who grows hops or grows barley.
I do.
I was going to say, we know somebody that grows hops, don't we?
Yeah, me.
There you go.
It's legal now, Bernard.
I connect with those people on the table.
I was getting ready to say, I think that's already taken care of.
I'm getting
Most
I'm
definitely.
getting my contractor's license and starting up a company called Weed Shacks in Michigan. So, Weed Shacks.
I tell you what, put in a coupon. Give me a coupon. I'll put it in mybeerbox.com.
You
This strawberry
get 10%
milkshake has
off
an
your Weed Shack.
incredible nose.
It is.
It smells like a strawberry milkshake.
It does. It really does.
You're just trying the strawberry.
Yeah, I was
You're
finished.
holding on to
Beautiful
that meat
aroma.
too long.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
Sasha.
that's Shrams. If
we're
we're gonna
Mead brothers
talk,
in the house. We got
if
some
we're gonna
Black
talk
Adams
about
floating
meat,
around.
who do we have to talk
Which
about?
batch?
Red beer.
Red beer. She's been waiting
no.
to bring you up, Red beer.
Hey,
Ever since I saw that
which,
Shrams on the table.
which batch is this?
That's the latest. That's the new one that just came out
Nice.
a couple weeks ago.
I'm going to have to
Yeah.
just preemptively thank you because those are expensive bottles.
Yes.
And I've never had Shrams, period.
What?
Really?
Sorry.
What?
And it rhymes with hams.
Oh,
I'm the opposite of English.
so if nothing else, if you didn't get anything else out of this
You
evening
took my-
with
you
the
took
Brewz
my-
brothers,
You took my Shrams.
you
Oh,
had
oh.
some Shrams.
I lost my Shrams virginity.
I hope Don Sims isn't listening.
I love.
Bernard just said that ain't Morgan David.
I love Shrams.
Logan Devon.
Like Shrams.
Shout to my wife who loves Morgan David. Fuck what you talking about. She loves it.
I do too.
Keeps peace in my house.
You know what?
Too.
I just found out this week in my life that MD 2020 doesn't mean Mad
Not
Dog.
Mad Dog. It's Morgan
Morgan
David.
David.
Uh-huh.
I was like, wow.
I
who
just
would know?
learned that right now.
And I
I
was
didn't know
mixing
How,
it.
how old are you? Right now,
Today.
I was this many years old.
This moment Sasha has been waiting for.
I was
It's Morgan
12 years
David.
old.
2020.
Damn.
It's not Mad Dog. It's Morgan David.
My
2020.
youth is ruined. Not my youth, my over 21 drinking.
I'm positive MD 2020 is not
I'm
kosher.
We let you finish.
No.
No way in the
Should
world.
it be?
No way in the world.
To go
Did
back
everybody
to
notice
talking
Bernard didn't
about it,
hesitate when he let him finish that up?
I really appreciated Shrams like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when you could get them
In the store.
in the store
Yep.
for $20 for not a
I got
$3.75.
my first bottle of Shrams from Dominic for $20
Go ahead, no, I just
in
wanna read
2015, 2016.
Shout out to Tippins.
Shout out to Tippins.
Yes.
And at some point, I know Dominic is in Kentucky right now, picking out a whiskey barrel. We'll see
Two barrels.
2 barrels right now, so we'll see him soon. But at some point, we're gonna have Dominic on, and we're gonna have some conversations. Dominic is a live wire, so just be prepared.
He and I
At
made.
some point,
he
we're
and
going
I.
to do
He and I
a
made.
podcast from Tippins.
That would be
Ooh.
amazing.
He,
We just got to figure out
Got to
spacing.
figure out the
mean, no,
Dom and I
it's
may
not
do
far.
some jiu-jitsu in the middle of it.
What?
maybe
Oh,
after.
wow.
Maybe after.
No. Middle of it.
It's got to be the middle of it. Matter of fact, let's do it at the beginning.
I approve.
That's how you start.
That's something to talk
Just
about.
start.
All night.
Get the blood rolling.
Hey, and I can't shout out Dom without shouting out Rocky.
Rocky, hey,
Dominic
Rocky.
and
Oh, Rocky.
Hey man, best in the business. Nobody picks better barrels. And
Speaking of barrels,
speaking
Hey.
of barrels,
this month,
what's happening this month?
this month,
Something's happening.
this month,
Something is coming.
There is.
I almost smell it.
You can.
I found it. I'm sorry.
It is
Yeah.
another Brewz Brothers pick.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Another Brewz Brothers
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been kept under wraps.
Yep.
We've told you to pay attention and stay
Yeah.
up on the podcast.
We told you we was gonna have a Black History Month kind of
Black History Month.
announcement, so to speak.
And coming up in conjunction with the Charles Wright African American Museum,
The now second largest museum of its
second
kind in
largest
the country,
museum.
behind D.C.
we're doing a Brewz Brothers pick in conjunction with them and the holiday
Excuse
market.
me.
Oh,
Bourbon?
nice.
It's
It is
not
not
bourbon.
bourbon.
Is it wrong?
It's rum.
Oh.
We've got rum coming.
So
Hey,
we-
man. Hey,
Here
man.
now.
The museum.
The
is
can't
looking-
wait.
The
We
museum,
got it
is
coming.
looking, museum is looking to explore the
Tell us
role
about it here.
the role that Africans and other people of color throughout the diaspora have traditionally had in producing rum. And in telling that story, we were presented with an opportunity to pick a barrel of rum that will be kind of packaged with that and branded with the Charles Wright Museum of African American History.
And I'm going to take it one step further because
Yeah.
4th of July, we're going to make some curry goat at a pop-up.
Hey,
And I'm going to serve that bottle.
hey.
All right.
Well,
In
we
Houston,
got-
Texas?
Yes, sir.
We got
I gotta
you
go to
covered.
Houston
He gave you
July.
plenty of time. You can get down to Houston.
Yeah, but it's July. This shit's hot. It's 120 degrees.
Man, bring a
Do it.
straw
You
hat.
do it?
No,
Yeah.
July. No, July.
Sunscreen, a hat.
July
So-
needs to be up north on a lake in Michigan somewhere.
So
true,
my
that's true.
so my brothers, when will this be available?
So
It's
any day now,
Any
right?
day
now.
Yeah, yeah,
stay tuned.
yeah, yeah.
So
We-
I'm,
It's a
And,
February
and
release.
this is not. And I want to be clear. This is not a rum that you could just buy on the shelf somewhere. This is something that, whether you're a rum drinker or not, is something you're going to want in your cabinet. And actually, one of the things I enjoy rum. I love rum. Rum is probably.
you drink it neat or
It's my
you mix
it's
it?
it's
No,
my
no,
third
wait a
favorite
minute.
liquor.
So
Hey.
so when we talk about rum, we talk about this bourbon bubble that's about to pop. The
Really?
speculation is that rum is going to be the next big thing. What I enjoy about rum is that you can get a really good rum for not a whole lot of money.
Now,
Yes.
Yeah.
the other thing too,
Yeah,
What
it's
we-
not. It's
what-
not.
what we're
it's not
not-
$80 a bottle.
what
for
we're
me.
not giving up
You
tonight,
got an $80 bottle of rum. It's a great ass bottle.
Right.
what
right.
we're not giving up tonight
Zaya, Zaya, again, shout out
is
to Dom's.
when the bottle is released.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a special Brewz Brothers recipe coming
We
with it.
sure do.
Nice.
So it's gonna be a Brewz Brothers drink.
Coming, man. It's
Hey,
coming.
To show
hey
you
Matt.
how-
Hey Matt.
Do you
Yeah,
need a Brewz
so it's-
Brothers
What do you
cake?
think? What do you think about that mead as your first mead?
Oh, right, right.
Is it hams or is it shrams?
Or do you feel like you should be drinking it from a skull because it's your first mead?
So
Arg, my first mead.
Where's my bowl? Where's my bowl, matey?
all of us Northern Europeans don't look the same. I can't grow a beard.
You hear that, Grady?
Right.
Like, I wish I could grow the beard that this guy has.
Oh, I
or
thought he
that
looked
you
at
have.
Sasha when he said that.
No,
Shave today.
I'll be honest.
Thank you for shaving, Sasha.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for not. Okay, go. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna just throw out like I'm whelmed.
So
Well.
not over or under, just
Like
well.
to be honest, this tastes like
Whelmed.
red wine to me, and I don't really do.
Shut
red-
your filthy mouth.
I'm sorry.
Shut your filthy
I don't
whore
drink
mouth.
wine.
No, that's
This-
not what it says.
This tastes like a Merlot or some shit.
He's
Oh,
a ham.
stop
This
it.
came
Oh,
from
man.
What
Kind of Merlot.
I don't.
Gas
I
has
don't
killed
get-
your palate, man.
No, I just
Matt,
had the
Matt,
strawberry
you
milkshake.
should come down to
That's why I
Ann
said-
Arbor and drink with me for like maybe.
Well, no, let's go to Pete Nectar or
2 years.
Selman's. I do both of those. I'll be honest. I'm trying to appreciate this. So I'm having like a second, third sip of it. It's just not hitting me. That's a way that's like, oh
Not a
my
hot
god,
sauce
it's,
bottle, dog.
it's the $80 bottle that people have been like.
This is not a. Well, it's probably $30 to $35.
Right, this is a
$3.7
standard release.
$3.75.
Yeah,
But the thing is,
You can get this on the shelf.
yeah.
I would not. I guess
You used to be able to get
What
Well,
would you
you-
do?
used to be able
Don't
to.
tell me
You-
what you wouldn't do.
You still can if you know the right people.
I would not pay $40 for this. I'm sorry.
Well, most
Like
people,
it'll get me
most
nice and
people
fucked up.
wouldn't.
I'm sure it's what 12,
14.
11%.
I agree that it's overpriced, right?
The thing is,
clearly.
I just.
But if the
But what is
market
it?
if the market bears
But
it,
I also know that meat is expensive to produce, so
That's why I wouldn't call it overpriced.
well, honey,
I just don't. It's not that I think it's overpriced. I think it's. I wouldn't seek this out
He
personally.
drinks hams.
Like,
Right, exactly.
This is why.
This is not
This is
really
why I'm not
fair.
on tap. This isn't for me. It's not that it's
All right.
bad. It's just not for my palate. This doesn't strike me. Like if I go to Bee Nectar, I'll like some of theirs. I won't like some of theirs. If I go to Cellarman's, I'll like some of it. I won't like some of the others. But I
Man.
won't say that it's
So
good
tell
or
me
bad.
when you would drink it. Not like
This?
delving too far into like your sexual preference, but tell me when you would.
What would this be a proper
right.
occasion for this?
What?
Dun, 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 dun.
I missed a piece.
I would.
Show it off, Sasha.
I would drink this if it was like an event.
Okay.
You know, it's not like I don't like this, but this wouldn't be the first, second, or third thing I reach for. But if I were doing my friends and I, when we were kids, we would call them President's Nights, where you would suit up. All the guys would wear suits, the girls would wear nice dresses, and you would go hit the bars. For no
That's
reason.
why I said what I said.
For no other reason than just to be the different people at the bar and to have an event. It's like this is something I would drink at a President's Night.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
like
That's
fair.
something to have, something high end to share.
It's fancy.
But it's not going to be
Fancy.
what I
Man,
reach for.
You brought up Bee Nectar. They did a pineapple coconut mead called Coconut Express.
Coconut.
I hear that.
It was 14%
Was it coconut rim?
I was just
alcohol.
about to say, was that on the road?
Man, let me tell you, it
But was
is
it
probably my favorite.
Come on,
It was
man.
my favorite mead.
Only at the base.
Right.
Oh my god.
It was amazing, and it numbed my top lip. But it was amazing, and I have not seen it anywhere. I had it at one.
Are you allergic? Is that why numbed your lip?
No, it was the alcohol content.
I think Redbeard
It
might
numbed
have
his
numbed
top lip.
somebody's top lip also.
He may have. He may have. Redbeard, if you listen.
I guess it's good. We getting ready to close it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You know,
This is getting worse the more bottles that get opened up.
Sasha, you want to address that numb lip?
I have nothing to say because his wife ain't gonna kill me. No, it's nothing. Nothing. It's nothing.
So when we open up this brewery, when are we going to start? Why don't we start a crowdfund campaign?
It's going to be a brewery and meadery.
It's a brew pub. We're going to do a brew
We're going
pub.
to have a meadery and
Covers
brewery
all the bases.
because we got to
Brew
have
pub.
Redbeard numbing lips down. You know,
Stop it.
So
You're gonna get
tell
me in
you,
trouble. Stop it.
It's not that we don't. We've got the knowledge base. We've got the fiduciary expertise.
we can
Do
get
we
the
know-
capital.
Let's start a
we
crowdfunding
need the
campaign.
capital. Do we know anybody that could find us some real estate?
I already told
That's where
you.
we at.
No, I already told
Wait a
you where
minute.
it is.
Does it
Whoa.
matter? Real estate agent?
I think so.
But I've already identified the spot.
Right.
Isn't
say it
David
on-
in the? Is
Right,
David
say it
not in the
online.
group?
Say it online.
I have
That's what we're
connections.
doing.
Yeah, I
at the
was
land
being
bank,
facetious,
so-
but
It's just south of the Avenue Fraction.
Matt, stop. Stop.
don't let anybody sneak up
Offline,
on our
stop.
spot, man. Just
Stop.
So
that's a
That's
sort of-
enough for tonight.
that's a
Brewz
lunch
Brothers
meeting.
Kickstarter.
That's a lunch meeting.
Keep it down to one person talk.
Yeah, that's a lunch meeting though, and when you and I had that conversation, I think we both said that we would talk here, but that's definitely a lunch meeting.
I got
Because
to
I-
claim it as a business expense now.
I mean,
Okay.
somebody should.
I'll take you out.
We'll be very strategic about who's at the lunch because there'll be several people that could claim it as a business expense. I'm not one.
We
of
all
them.
will.
I'll just be there. So
I just visited my accountant today.
They can make multiple receipts. Oh, I'm sorry.
see, right. So we got the expertise. So but on a serious note, that is a conversation that
There,
we
there
certainly
needs to be
should
like a
push
Brewz
forward.
Brothers HQ.
There does.
What?
There
Guys,
does.
did we talk about our favorites of the night?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Let's go
Wait,
with- yeah.
I just want to see what people thought about that Weldworks strawberry milkshake.
The nose was
I
great.
don't know if I got. Can you pick?
Yeah,
Well, I think it's gone.
No, I can't because there's nothing left.
The
Sorry,
nose
man.
was great.
You
I
missed
thought
it.
it was good, but it didn't follow up as much as the nose.
Well,
It's
it's not.
bitter.
It's not the pina colada.
Right. It was
No,
bitter
it's
and
not.
dry on
No,
the
it's
end,
not.
but I liked it. The bitterness wasn't too
It
bad.
wasn't M43 strawberry.
It was not. It was
Better
much
or
better
worse?
than M43 strawberry.
Shots
red.
fired. Where is Weldworks?
Colorado.
Greeley, Colorado.
So
They're-
Greeley, Colorado is like a new mecca for beer that people need to go to.
They've got two good breweries in Greeley, Weldworks
Didn't we have
and
the others
Wiley Roots.
that?
Okay.
Yeah, Wiley Roots. We haven't drank that yet.
Christian,
we'll get
your winner
into
for
it.
the night.
it was the Wiley Roots white Imperial.
The porter.
Imperial.
Sorry,
Imperial.
that's too many.
Yakety schmackety. I can't drink anymore.
You know what? I hate you guys.
All right, Foghorn Legs.
You know what I'm talking about. It was awesome.
I say.
Look at him, boy. Pass me that beer there, boy.
I was a rooster.
I hate this group.
right.
Chris, it was no signature required.
Absolutely.
Ah,
It was good.
okay.
That was great.
Sasha,
I think this was
you
my
winning.
favorite though. This is
The double barrel Bentic.
Bentig.
Bentic.
Is that TH? I'm having trouble reading it. Is that BNTHIC?
Was it because it was as thick as the other night, Sasha? What made it?
What's
Other
been
night-
thick?
I'm sorry. God, I gotta. Anyway, move on.
I'm gonna move out the room when
Matt,
Sasha
Matt,
starts punching
Matt.
people in the face.
Without a
I'm
doubt,
just-
this might be the beer of the year.
The hams.
don't do it
That's
to
the beer of the decade. But the beer of the year is the no signature necessary. Is that what it's called?
I think it's over there, huh?
The Wiley roots.
Yes. I would mainline this. You know, it's just good. Get
An
it.
IV and go for it. It was great.
Mark.
It really was great.
Mark Donkers.
The coconut.
Beer tonight.
Coconut man.
Just open up one.
Just open up one.
Well, I
That
just
was-
opened up another beer.
Peaches and cream state fair cobbler.
What?
Oh my
Words.
goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey now.
Oh my.
He doesn't
goodness.
have one. Let's move
Yeah.
on.
Move on. Move on. Go.
You
Go.
liking that
Go.
one?
Oh wow.
I'm getting to it.
I would have to flip a coin. I really like the Holmes
smells
cocktail,
wonderful.
but the signature required was pretty
This
good
one?
too.
Cup.
Well, that's 3.
I would lean towards the Holmes though.
I like that Holmes a lot too. It tasted a lot like
very
a
You're
cocktail.
wrong, but
Harry.
Get to Ann Arbor.
Harry,
Get that
beer
cocktail.
tonight.
I'm going with the double barrel Bentic. I thought it was really well
It
done.
was great.
Yeah, just very well balanced. Just a good beer. I thought it was great.
Call me a homer,
Homer.
but it's hard to be Strams tonight. You know, because
It's easy to beat
Strams had everybody going wild.
except
for Matt. You know.
wow, that's
but,
really good too.
It's very tight.
You know,
It's all
so
over the place.
we've had a lot of good beers tonight.
Interesting.
We've had a lot of great conversation tonight.
Not for you?
And here, I think we're getting ready to
We
go.
are getting ready to close, but I can't close without giving a proper recognition to my brother Bernard. We've talked several times about how far he and I go back. You know, Red Stripe and Beatties and Newcastles and Malibu and
Barely
Pineapple
MD
Juice.
2020.
No, not that far. I think we met after that stage, but we've shared a lot of beers together, and we shared a lot of times together, good and bad. So I'm glad to have my brother here for a minute, visiting with us. It's an honor to have you here on the podcast, and I'm glad we were able to start this thing. And it's amazing what it's turned into. So cheers to you, brother.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Bernard.
Salute, my brother.
Salud.
Hey, cheers to Brewz Brothers.
Cheers to
as a whole.
Brewz Brothers, and cheers to Better on Draft too, and cheers to Old Nation. Everybody that's had a hand in this thing.
Here's us now and many more.
Many more. So on that,
And we'll look to see you in 2 weeks.
Look to see
2
you in
weeks.
2 weeks.
Old Nation Anonymous.
at
Up in
Old Nation
Williamston.
in Williamston. So for now, we're gonna sign off. We're gonna finish these beers on the table. Brewz Brothers, episode 7
For the culture.
for the culture. Signing off. See y'all next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good show, guys.
Excellent show. Excellent show.